All right, let's do this. All right, we're continuing our coverage of the Mega Training Camp. We're not live anymore. We are watching the VOD. This is round 6. And we've got Tord versus Daichi. Best in the world. First one of the best in Japan. Let's go ahead and like up the speed here by a little bit. Maybe 1.25. I don't want to go too fast. 1.25. I think that's fine. Want to be able to like follow along. We have Daichi going first. It is Regidrago against Gardevoir. Tord on the Gardevoir. Daichi with the Drago, obviously. It's aggressive with the Billy. Even throws down the Temple of Sinnoh. I mean, Temple of Sinnoh doesn't do anything here at all, right? I can't think of a reason why it does anything. I guess you may as well put it in play as... I'm trying to like come up with a reason why you wouldn't put it in play. There's no reason to put it or not put it in play, though, right? I'm pretty sure Daichi only plays the one stadium in the Temple of Sinnoh. And yeah, there's the pass. Gets the energy on the Ogre Pawn. Clean turn 1 here. Setting up for that turn 2 attack. Over to Tord. I see Manaphy. I see Poffin. So Tord's going to probably have like a fine go of it here as well. Into the Poffin. Going to get those Ralts. And then we should see... what was the other? I mentioned another card in the hand. Oh, the Manaphy come down on the bench to protect against the potential Kyurem play. There's the possibility of the Kyurem happening, so you want to protect against that. Here comes a Nest Ball as well. Probably for third Ralts. Like I said, has the Manaphy in hand. Maybe Tatsugiri is a consideration here. Can't get the Tatsu in the active this turn, though, to use it. I feel like every time I watch Guardy play with Tatsugiri... Ooh, goes for the Mimikyu. Actually, I kind of like that. There's the Artisan, bump the Sinnoh. Yeah, like I said, the Sinnoh is kind of like... It doesn't matter if it's in play or not in play. Puts it in play, it gets bumped by the Artisan, whatever. Yeah, the Mimikyu is like a good way to like slow the game down here a little bit for sure. I wonder if, yeah, if Mimikyu becomes popular enough in Gardevoir, honestly, there's a good argument to include Iron Bundle in Regidrago. If this is like the classic turn 1, if that's like the becomes like the send up here from Gardevoir is to play Mimikyu and just push it turn 1 going second, or turn 1 or turn 2 going first, whatever. A pretty good draw though, it looks like there from Daichi. Oh my gosh, actually it's got Drago E-Switch Prime Catcher. Jeez. What a draw. Looks like the Heavy Ball gets played here from Tord, finds the Drifloon out of the prize cards. I didn't check the rest of the prize cards there. I was too distracted by Daichi's hand. And does find the Vessel. So this can either lead to a TM evolution or just a retreat into the Mimikyu. Which I would assume is the reason that Tord got the Mimikyu. Is okay, if I whiff the TM Evo, I want to slow them down. But did draw the TM Evo. Okay, drew the TM Evo off the Iono there. And the Vessel for the energy. So gets the Kirlias out. Yeah, it feels like the Mimikyu was a little bit of like a safety net there. Like, okay, I'll get the Mimikyu here. Actually, that's kind of curious, actually. I'm going to go back and take a look at that. Because Tord, I guess, all right, so Tord used the Artisan before using the Iono, but Tord could have... Where are we at? 607? Yeah, I'm going to go back here, actually. Because I'm curious, where did the Mimikyu come from? The Mimikyu came from the Nest Ball. Interesting. So Tord could have, like, played the Artisan, Nest Balled for Ralts, benched Manaphy, and then could have just, like, not put the Mimikyu in... Like, could have used Iono first, and if you whiff the TM Evo, then you could Artisan for Mimikyu retreat into it, and if you hit the TM Evo, then maybe you don't put the Mimikyu in play. But see, now Tord drew into the TM Evo, which is good for Tord, and Tord's going to take advantage of that. But now the Mimikyu doesn't get pushed into the active here, which is like the value of Mimikyu. It can still be good in the late game when you're in a situation where it's like, I don't have what I need now, I'm just going to push this up. Right now, Drago has Cologne for Mimi. That's true as well. The Cologne exists in the Drago deck, but it is like a nice send up to. It's better to make your opponent work harder than not, right? I think I skipped a little bit too far ahead here. So it's interesting that Tord went out of the way to get the Mimikyu that aggressively. There's definitely an argument to have left it in the deck to like have the flexibility of the bench space instead. Drago doesn't have 0 answers to Mimikyu. In fact, now with the canceling Cologne, like Soul mentioned in chat, they have that much more. If you're a cloning Mimi, you aren't cloning Manaphy. That's true, Blitzel, but if you just naturally draw into Cologne early, then it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to use this to get through Mimikyu now, and then later I'll just Legacy Star for it back, right? So, like, it's not like, yeah, you have, like, the deck has the flexibility to do that, right? Obviously, you'd rather turn 2 clone around the Manaphy. But it's like the natural draw. And if I naturally draw into clone right now and I don't use Legacy Star, all right, let me get through this Mimikyu. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. The Mimikyu's like aggressively benching the Mimikyu. The only thing it does for Tord, for sure, is it's one less card in deck when you play the Iono, which then increases the odds of finding the Force Steel Stone by a little bit. But I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth losing this bench space over that. I don't know if it's worth using the bench space over that. There's definitely an argument to not put Mimikyu in play aggressively and like save your Artisan use until after you play the Iono. If you whiff the Evo, then you get Mimikyu retreat into it. If you hit the Evo, then you utilize the Evo. All right, pawn used there from Daichi. And gets another Grass Energy. Like I said, has the V-Star and the E-Switch in hand. So basically has the attack set up here. Looks like already ready to go. The thing is, there's no good attacker in the discard pile. Gets aggressive with the Prime on a Curlia. So it's basically giving up on the potential for the Kyurem play already here from Daichi. Is like, nah, I'm not going to go for the Kyurem play. Still has Research and Legacy Star to potentially utilize. I guess if you find Canceling Cologne and a way to get Kyurem in the discard pile, you could Legacy Star for the Prime Catcher back. So I guess that's a thing. We'll probably see Mew or second pawn grabbed here. It is the pawn. Oh, we have an extra bench space to work with. Hawlucha could also get involved here. We could see Hawlucha ping up the Ralts and the Mimikyu, and then probably KO the Ralts. So you could also... Oh, and there's the Dragapult. We'll see if the Hawlucha can be found here. I'm pretty sure Daichi plays the Hawlucha. We saw Daichi play a game in a previous Swiss round. I'm pretty sure Daichi has the Hawlucha. From what we've seen, I think all the Regidragos play Hawlucha. Yeah, we should 33 months there. Destruction. All right, another pawn. Maybe thinking about, but it looks like it's just going to be an attack with Dragapult. I'm curious to see where the 6 damage counters go. You probably put like... oh, there goes Kyurem. But yeah, we're not going to get the play here. Just getting into this card pile, of course. On the Grass and a Fire. You probably just put 6 on Ralts, right? So that way, even if Monkey Dory moves it off... Yeah, I think maybe you just put 6 on Ralts. I'm curious to see what Daichi does here. You could also pressure the Manaphy as well, though. You could put 6 on Manaphy, actually, and then you could Hawlucha plus Kyurem next turn. Ooh, okay, I kind of like that. 6 on Manaphy. Goes for a 1-1-2-2 split. I kind of like 6 on Manaphy, as long as Daichi actually plays the Hawlucha. I'm kind of assuming Daichi plays Hawlucha, but I'm pretty sure. Does Tor play double Charm? At least 1 Charm. I don't know about 2. All right, there's that first refinement from Tord. Yeah, Tord at least plays Drifloon 1 Charm. I haven't seen for sure 2 Charm in the Tord list yet. Is Tord's list public? Not as far as I know. You could piece it if you go back and watch the stream. You could probably piece it together though. All right, the Gardevoir's found, so an attack will be happening here for Tord. The question is, what are we gonna go after? Not too many Psychics in the discard pile yet. Actually, like none. Is this ever like a run to Mimikyu angle? I guess it could be. Drifloon is being established with that Bravery Charm. As Iono in hand. He's going to recover some Guardy pieces with a Super Rod. So only 1 Super Rod left. I guess Tord could play 3 Super Rod, but I doubt it. I doubt there's 3 Super Rod. Shuffles up. Attached to Mimi. And then Iono. Refresh 6. Maybe Tord's going to run to the Mimikyu here, depending on the draw. Because, yeah, the energy was placed on the Mimikyu, so that makes me think we're going to see a retreat. Retreat the active, run to the Mimikyu, try and hide behind it for a turn. Of course, Legacy Star is still around for Daichi, so I doubt Daichi's going to be attacking into the Mimikyu this turn. We'll probably see Daichi go after the... Maybe even go after the Drifloon, to be honest. Could go after the Drifloon here. Bring up the Drifloon. Ooh, I kind of like that, actually. You could go after the Drifloon here. KO that plus KO the Curlia. I mean, see, the two on the Ralts is pretty good here for Daichi, as we see this game is kind of progressing. Like, the 2 on the Ralts, now a Curlia, being able to KO that Curlia plus another Pokemon this turn would be a really, really good play. I was kind of like bringing up the potential of put 6 on the Manaphy. That way you can Halucha the Manaphy and then attack with Kyurem this turn, which I think is also like a good play, obviously. But the way this is breaking down now, it's looking pretty good for Daichi. Has some options. Ball coming in. I mean, if we see this grab the Mew, there's no Halucha possibility this turn, but you don't really need to use Halucha this turn, to be honest. You just want to find a Gust, I think. I think all you want is like Gust, KO Drifloon. Gust, KO Drifloon, KO Kirlia. I can't think of a reason why you'd want to KO the... There's like an argument to maybe KO the Manaphy instead, but I think you just leave that on the bench as a vulnerability. And then we're trying to... I think it's optimal for Daichi just to Phantom Dive the Kirlia off the board. Saving V-Star is too good. I could see that. I could see that, to be honest, Jake. Yeah, I could see that. Just like punch it. Like, you give Tord full Mimikyu value. You don't get to actually hit anything per turn. I mean, if you draw boss here, yeah, if we draw boss, obviously we go for it, I guess. But yeah, saving V-Star, I could see that being correct for sure. You're already so far ahead. If you can just maintain your lead, and nothing's gonna help you maintain your lead more than having access to your Legacy Star as the game progresses. So you can even just like set up for that to be your win condition. I think that's actually how you want to play this matchup if you can. Is Kyurem, the Kyurem combo should be your win condition. I think at all costs, the Kyurem combo should be your win condition. Not, well, it could be both. It's a mix of both. Obviously, there's going to be opportunities where you want to use it turn 2, but you shouldn't be overly aggressive with it in the mid game. I think that's going to be a thing too many Regidrago players are going to do is be overly aggressive with it in the mid game. We do see the research here from Daichi. So there's no boss. The Legacy Star could get involved here. Has an E-Switch in hand, which we'll probably see play to move an energy from an Ogerpon to a Regidrago. But like Jake was saying in chat, and I think I agree, there's no reason... We don't need to get Prime Catcher back this turn. KOing Kirlia here is pretty good still. KOing the Kirlia here is still pretty good for Daichi. And we got like our second Regidrago almost set up, ready to go. Now we get the restart involved for some draw power. I haven't seen the Halucha on any of the pass-throughs from Daichi. And we see Daichi just going to take his time. KO the Kirlia. No draw power on the side for Tord. And this is actually like one of the... Honestly, the more I think about this, I think Radiant Greninja is going to make its way back into these Guardy decks. Because it's so much harder to KO a Radiant Greninja than it is to KO a Ralts or a Kirlia. Every time we see these Regidrago decks going up against Gardevoir, their Kirlias just get picked apart. Even in situations where Kyurem's not utilized. And then there's like this situation here, Tord is left with no draw power. Yeah, Tord is just left with 0 draw power. But if you have Radiant Greninja, it's not going to get sniped off the board as easily from the Dragapult spread. And you can always put it in play out of nowhere to then utilize it to draw cards. So I think because of this matchup, we will probably see Greninja come back into Gardevoir decks pretty consistently. Because it's not just only good in this matchup, but... Yeah, like you see these board states develop time and time again in this matchup where it's just like, no Greninja. Wait, Guardy isn't playing Greninja? It's been like the trend over in Japan, I feel like. That's what Tord's playing as well. Tord's playing the no Greninja Tatsugiri build. That's what we saw, was it Kato playing at NAIC. No Greninja, Tatsugiri as some form of support. I guess I shouldn't say it's a trend. It's kind of just like these two instances. But I think in Japan, it feels like that's the way they had been going. But for this matchup specifically, it feels like you need to play Radiant Greninja. If this matchup didn't exist, I actually could see an argument that not playing Greninja is correct, for sure. I'd have to like put some testing in with it, definitely, but I could definitely see an argument for that, to be honest. All right, Tord's going after the Mew here, and it's gonna knock it out with the Drifloon. And this, I mean, this allows Daichi to once again. This is game over, right? Daichi doesn't have to. I'm pretty sure the game is literally over on this attack. Daichi just knocks out the active with Dragapult, and then also knocks out the Mimikyu, and then loads up damage on Ralts and Manaphy, and then has a second Regidrago set up ready to go. The only thing Daichi... And you have Legacy Star left. I'm pretty sure the game is literally just over. I'm pretty sure this game is just over. I think Daichi has game on board. Daichi could Cologne combo this turn, too. Cologne combo... But you wouldn't win, right? You wouldn't win the game. You'd be one knockout short. Am I tripping? There's an Iono from Daichi. Doesn't have the draw support anymore with the Mew, but has 2 Dragos set up. Isn't his V-Star flipped? Oh, yeah, wait. Daichi's V-Star is flipped, but did Daichi use his V-Star? Or am I tripping? When did Daichi use it if he did use it? Maybe he used it and I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it was just flipped from last game. I could be wrong, though. He did? Oh, wait. When did he use it? Oh, I'm just tripping then. I just did not notice. I'm just tripping. Still looking pretty good for Daichi. All right, there's 4 to the Mimi. And then I think you put 1 on Ralts. Or 2 on Ralts. And then 1 on Manaphy. So Dragapult can theoretically win next turn. The Mew's back in play as some form of draw support. Once again, Tord has no draw power set up. Does have the potential of a Kirlia. It is possible to like trap the Squawkabilly here. I don't think he used it. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he did use it. I think it's just flipped. He never used it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and Torch concedes there. I think Torch probably should have conceded last turn, to be honest. I think it was a mistake for Torch to not have conceded earlier. As soon as going into that turn, Torch didn't have a bigger play. I think Torch should have conceded. Yeah, Daichi, like I said, basically has game on board. You maybe could have held out for when Daichi didn't have a grass energy on the next Regidrago, but when Daichi didn't have a grass energy on the like a fully loaded second Regidrago, there's maybe an argument to stick it out a little, like for another turn as Tord. But as soon as that grass energy comes down, you just gotta pack it up. You should always lose the Legacy Star, as long as it wasn't actually used, which I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it just flipped from the last round. Is this different from the other day or the same thing? Same thing. We shouldn't finish watching it, so I want to go back and watch the rest of it. Or disqualified from the GOAT debate because of the pile counting. I'm pretty sure Jason pile counted as well, though. So just DQ everyone who pile counts. I'm kind of down, to be honest. All right, looks like a Squawkabilly start here from Daichi. I assume you go first in this matchup. As Tord. Like, I can't imagine you choose second. Opens the Manaphy. I mean, the hand's like, oh, okay, the Heavy Ball top deck might give something. Triple Kirlia? Oh, gosh. I think that was triple Kirlia. It wasn't flipped at all. It looks weird because it's wood. Oh, is that it face up? Oh, my gosh. And it's Manaphy attached pass. All right, so Daichi could donk here. But if Daichi doesn't get the donk here, it probably doesn't matter because there's 3 Kirlias prized here for Tord. So, geez. Not only is it going to be a super slow start for Tord, but there's also 3 Kirlias prized. Also, the Billy start is actually not... In matchups like this, like Gardevoir, the Squawkabilly start is actually decent because you can just motivate turn 1. Turn 1 motivate is actually kind of sick. It's not... Yeah, it's not a terrible attack. I mean, you need something to motivate too, of course. I'm sure we can find that off the Squawkabilly. 2 Drago V-Stars in hand right now. But I think Daichi does play 2 Night Stretchers, so it shouldn't be a big deal to recover them at all. Into the research immediately. Not a bad research, though. Dragapult and Tina to the discard pile. Another energy as well, so you're really hoping to pull off a motivation here. And there's the Nest Ball. So unless all the Drago Vs are prized here for Daichi, the motivate is on the way. Looking pretty good for Daichi here, especially with how slow of a start Tord has. Also, the Manaphy is in the active, which is like that much more vulnerable to a canceling Cologne combo from the Regidrago side. You don't need the Gust to bring the Manaphy in the active. You just need to find canceling Cologne. Oh, we haven't even attached yet for turn. That was E-switched up to the Squawkabilly. I didn't even realize that. And then there's the motivate. Jeez. And if even and Manaphy going down early here is actually really, really bad as well. Just because it then leads to having to find Super Rod and find the Manaphy again to play around the Kyurem play. Once again, leading to Daichi maybe not needing the canceling Cologne. Arvin's going to come out here. So the one Kirlia left in Tord's deck will be found this turn. You probably just leave Manaphy in the active here. Oh, that's tough, though. If you leave it in the active, you could get canceling Cologne. But if you retreat it, you're just going to get Dragapult sniped off the bench. That's tough. It sucks. Both ways suck, to be honest. It just sucks both times. Curly is in hand. Wait, actually? Dude, it can't get worse than this for Tord in this game. There's no Kirlia in the deck. So this is the kind of situations where you don't want to like let your opponent know that happened. Did Tord take TM Evo off of Arvin? I'm curious if Tord took TM Evo off of Arvin. Because if you take TM Evo and then don't use it, you telegraph to your opponent you either prized all your Kirlias. He took Bravery Charm? Okay. So he uses the TM Evo. He took Charm. I think Tord just shouldn't, like, I don't know how competitive Tord is being in this tournament as well. You see they're like laughing back and forth, and like Tord even tells them they're all prized. But like theoretically, you wouldn't want to give your opponent that info for like potential reasons. Would it ever come up? Who knows? Like theoretically, you should just hold the TM Evo and pretend you like prize double TM Evo and then pass. You want to give your opponent as little information as possible, but it is a funny moment for sure. Tord farming clips. Yeah, farming the clips. That's a long game. The Twitter impressions. So you're saying he should bluff? Nope. That's not what I'm saying, Soda. Oh, there's the canceling clone. Jeez. There's the Hawlucha. Looks like the canceling clone is just being played, though. Who knows if the Kyurem will actually be found. Oh, but if you do find Kyurem, the game's just over, right? Because you can Kyurem KO the whole board now. There's only 3 Pokemon in play. I think that play counts as a bluff. No, it doesn't count as a bluff because it's still like your opponent still is like making the correct decision based on their information. Bluffing is a category of plays. No. I don't think bluff is the right term. Bluff's not the right term. It's not. All right. Is the Kyurem? I mean, all you need on Daichi's side is like an Ultra Ball and maybe a Vessel. It looks like Daichi maybe whiffed the out to the potential of the Kyurem play, or it could be prized, I guess. We did find the Hawlucha this turn. So lone Ralts from Tord being sent up. There's an Iono in the hand. There's a Kirlia. But you can't afford to evolve. You can't afford to evolve this Ralts to a Kirlia because you need to retreat it. So you basically have to Iono into an Ultra Ball, recover the Kirlia. You need to retreat this Ralts into Mimikyu ideally, and then evolve it to a Kirlia. So Tord basically has to Iono into Ultra Ball and Mimikyu, or some way to find Mimikyu. I mean, Daichi never loses here, so no point risking Kyurem. I mean, if you could have guaranteed the Kyurem out of the discard pile, you may as well just do it. But I don't think there was an Ultra Ball in the discard pile, so you couldn't go like Ultra Ball Vessel. All right. Well, I see the Mimikyu. There's also a counter catcher. This is definitely a prey type moment. So, I mean, obviously the Hawlucha is probably not getting stuck here, but and there's the Mimi. Retreat. Oh wait, I think Daichi just has game though, right? Because can't Daichi just go canceling? Can't Daichi go Legacy Star for canceling Cologne? Oh no, but we have Artisan here, so we're gonna get another Ralts. So we could go canceling Cologne, Kyurem, I guess. Yeah, Kyurem canceling Cologne. If possible. Kyurem's not in the discard pile yet. We still have Legacy Star to recover canceling Cologne. And you can also just go up there and KO the Ralts that has 60 on it. As long as you can just retreat here, you're in a good spot here as Daichi. I'm so confused. What just happened? Why is there a Ogerpon in the discard pile? Oh, it got Vesseled. I didn't see the Vessel get played. I was tripping. I was like, wait, what's going on here? Well, we can move the Hawlucha. And KOing the Ralts that has 10 damage on it is pretty good here. There also could be like, if there's just a boss here from Daichi. Like, once again, you board lock Tord out of any good plays. Goes for the Iono, though. All right. Can still get there. Can still find a Kyurem. And then Legacy Star for canceling Cologne plus Vessel and discard the Kyurem. Or Ultra Ball for Kyurem and then do that. Maybe we don't quite have it. All right. Oh, the V-Star's happening, actually. So I assume that means we do have it. It's a canceling Cologne. And Ultra Ball. There's the Kyurem grabbed. Do we have a way to discard the Kyurem, though? That's a clone. Ultra Ball away the Kyurem. And then Kyurem attack. Take 3. So, game 1 was interesting. Yeah, there's 3 Kirlia's prize there for Tord. Oh, one of the Team Evos was prized as well. Yeah, about as bad as it could go here in game 2. Game 1's a little bit interesting. But man, it can be so hard to recover. Yeah, the Regidrago player can just go so aggressively after your Kirlias, and it can be so hard to recover after that. It's tough for sure. That's definitely very tough. Got Charizard versus Lugia. Of course, it could be like Charizard Dragapult or something like that. Lugia could be the rat build, could be the non-rat build. We'll see. We do have Charizard going first here. Best ball's out. There's the Rotom. See if any Pidgey can be found. I see they're shuffling up, so I assume we're not going back in with Poffin here, but we'll see. Has Duskull to work with. How much does Dusknoir matter in this matchup? Does it matter at all in this matchup? I'm actually not sure. Alright, second Lugia out. Is very good. Does it just help you get those more aggressive knockouts on the Lugias? Is that basically it? You can KO 2 Chinchino in one turn. Oh, true. Or Archeops plus Chinchino? Oh, yeah, true. Dusknoir KO Chops, and then Charizard KO the Archeops. Oh, no, Dusknoir KO the Chinchino. Yeah. Does that just make this matchup almost like an auto win? Well, if it's a rat build. I feel like the non-rat build has to be the better build then for this matchup, maybe. I guess you have to set it all up as well. You do have to, like, set everything up. All right, that looks like it heads to me. So, got to read the win on a Chops here coming up. Can't imagine we would do anything else. I guess you could have 2 Chops in hand already with an Ultra Ball or something. They have Dusknoir, Pidgeot, and Zard is hard. Yeah, but it's like a turn 3, turn 4 play, right? Popping Clops to KO Lone Lugia turn 2 seems sick too. Yeah, and actually that's like something that's like not super unreasonable to like pull off, right? Because you can like combo with Counter Catcher. Because you need the Clops is like the big card to like find. Okay, another Aroma. This one's a Tails. This might give us a little bit of a tell if it's a rat build or not. Is there Chinchinos? Or is it a Iron Hands build? Is the question. So Ursaluna found. I assume it's not making its way to the bench though. Oh, just to Ultra Ball it away. Okay. One Chop in the discard pile. Yeah, I was gonna say, is it probably finding a Lugia V-Star or another Chop? Finds the other Chop. We will be able to read this away. We got Clop. We got Chop. Is that what we're gonna call it? Mezagoza comes out, and then there's the Read the Wind. Did they go down to a 0-card hand there? No, right? No. They were gonna call it the Clop. Doesn't sound right. What about Clops? Sounds like Clogs. Chops, Clops. As it goes aheads, lead to Luminion, leads to Arven 4 Sealstone plus a Candy. A little rat on the bench now too. You'll appreciate the 2 months there, Cups. That's for the Manaphy. Interesting. Off the Mezagoza? So they're playing around. It looks like they're just going to go into a Rotom for 3. And bench the Manaphy to play around Water Pawn, I guess. Might as well, right? Makes sense. I assume we don't have a Candy Charizard here or anything like that going down. There's Manaphy. And just draw 3 off Rotom. Okay. So a little bit of a slower start here. 4 Sealstone established. I mean, boss KO Rotom here, I feel like it's pretty good here on the Lugia side. Remove the tool card from play. Get yourself 2 prize cards. Too aggressive? I don't think so, right? That'd be fine. If not, going to probably be a KO on the Charmander. I guess Iron Hands is a question here as well. Is like, we could do an Iron Hands play. Instead, KO Charmander with Iron Hands. Then Rotom's on the bench for us to take advantage of later. Yeah. Just a random idea, but I wonder how Dusclops could potentially fit into Lugia since the deck runs a bunch of Pokemon search that often just goes to waste after Chops is set up. I don't think you'd use it in Lugia. It's not about having access to just like finding excess random Pokemon. It's about how it would affect your prize trade or if the damage matters. Yeah. You'll proceed the 7 months there. 0. All right, the rat's been found. There's the hand, so that is going to be it does look like it is going to be a hands route here. Chops are out, and the only thing that could happen at this point would be not checking the prize cards thoroughly and legacy energy being prized. So we're just hoping that's not the conclusion here. But honestly, the setup looks pretty clean here on the Lugia side. There's a double turbo and a legacy. There's a gift. Okay. So we're not going to be able to build up any energy on the rat here. So Charizard, Countercatcher, KO, Archeops is pretty solid here. I mean, the Iron Hands is like okay, but then we're going to get return smacked by a rat. I feel like Countercatcher, KO, Chops. Because this second Chops has to put like double turbo something on the active here and then retreat the double turbo. Goes with double turbo V-Guard. Okay. Of course, the hands would still be live and could boss around. But if the Charizard player plays like Enhanced Hammer, you could Enhanced Hammer the Legacy and then Countercatcher KO Chops potentially. They do have a pretty big hand here after the Rotom draw. They got 4 Shield Stone to work with. So we'll see what kind of play they can put together here. That's probably, I mean, if you play Enhanced Hammer here, or even Temple of Sinnoh, because the Mezzagos is already gone. If you go Sinnoh or Enhanced, if they play it, I'm not sure if they do. Neutralize the Legacy energy, and then Countercatcher KO and Archeops. Seems like a pretty solid turn. Then the rat can't clap back onto your Zard. You've dealt with the Legacy energy. If you're playing the Dusknoir in here, I don't even know if you have room for anti-Lugia cards anymore. I'm sure you have some tech space. But they're playing a pretty straightforward build here. It looks like double Force Steel Stone in this list. They're playing a pretty straightforward, trying to maximize that consistency. Don't want the prize cards to get involved. Or minimize the involvement from the prize cards. Here comes candy number 1. Pidgeot's online. Supporter's been used, though. Also, I guess I'm curious about what A-Spec do they run. Yeah, I'm curious about what A-Spec they actually run. Quick Search comes out. I mean, I'm assuming they're at least KOing something. It could be the active. KOing the active seems like the worst thing to knock out here, though. Yeah, I guess you could also neutralize the rat with a Dusknoir play. Like, you could go Dusknoir, Candy Dusknoir, KO the rat, KO the active. That would be okay. You do trigger the gift, which you don't want to do. And Boss on Rotom would be a pretty powerful play this turn as well. We'll see what other cards they have. Looks like another Ultra Ball's about to come down. Maybe not. But maybe. Hold up. All right, the 4 Seal Stone's coming out. Like I was saying, they got a couple different lines to take here. The biggest question is, do they play a anti-Lugia card? And is it prized or not? Here comes the Ultra Ball. For another Charmander. I was like, oh, we're going to get the Dusknoir? Candy Dusknoir? KO, Chinchino, KO active? Your Charizard would be safe for a turn, so you wouldn't need Charmander this turn. Alright, is the Countercatcher on the Archeops? So Chinchino is no longer a threat, but they don't have a card to prevent the Iron Hands from just getting 2 more prize cards if there's a boss here. Now you could go Boss KO. Sheesh. Would you go after Duskull or Charmander here? Probably the Duskull, right? Because that removes the most options. Boss KO Duskull seems like the play here, if possible. Put some energies on that rat. Put specifically a gift. Get a gift on the rat. Boss KO Duskull seems pretty good here. Does need a boss, though. Does need a boss here. Punching Charizard here is pretty bad. That's where all of a sudden it feels like the tempo of the game could flip to the other side. You really need a boss here. Or honestly, if you had punched the active Charizard with Lugia, that would have felt okay, I feel like, as well. I would have felt okay for sure. As it goes at first, another Tails. Had a couple Tails back and forth here now. I think it was heads into tails. Chop is coming out. We need to get a gift on the rat. We need to get some energy on the rat, and then specifically we want a gift to protect it from if it gets gusted. Yeah. All right, so it does make its way down there. So like I was saying, I think Boss KO Dusknoir is the play here, but with how hesitantly they're playing out this hand, I feel like they don't have Boss in hand. Maybe they're just thinking through it, though. We'll see what conclusion they come to. All right. It is a heads. Tails would have led to Luminion Boss, potentially. I see Luminion in the deck. Heads means that's not a possibility. Might be two flips that did not go the way they want to. Okay, we got the Luminion in the hand, though. Hold up, and there's the Boss. Okay, so we do have the play the whole time. Like I said, Boss Duskull seems best. And they agree. There we go. Duskull's going down 2 more prize cards. Down to 2 prize cards left here on the Lugia side. And there's so many liabilities in play that you have to worry about here as the Charizard player. If you KO Iron Hands, you only get 1 prize card. You trigger the gift. Then the rat is a threat. If you KO the rat, then the Iron Hands is still online, which means Iron Hands could go Boss again to KO your Manaphy or your Charmander. Even if you can find Collapse Stadium this turn, you can only get rid of Rotom or Manaphy, but you'd have to bench another Pokemon to even get rid of the Rotom to begin with. You can't really play around anything here, it feels like. They're looking at Radzard here. I guess Radzard could be a decent attacker to play around the rat getting a return knockout. So you can avoid the rat KO here if you go with the Radzard. But what are you KOing with Radzard? You have 5 prize cards left. How do you deal with this board? This board does not seem dealable with. It like... There's too many threats. Too many threats. Quick search is coming in now. Radzard, yeah, Radzard means you could KO the Iron Hands and not lose to your active getting KO'd next turn. That's what attacking with Radzard does here. Because you don't have to worry about the Chinchino yet. But you have to respect the Chinchino or the Archeops at some point. Because if you KO the Archeops, the energy can't make its way into the Chinchino. If you KO the Chinchino, then there's no Chinchino. So you have to deal with one of those 2 things, the Archeops or the Chinchino, or it gets Chinchino to the point where it KOs anything. Radzard KO Archeops into Boss KO Lumsa Slug with Zard. That seems okay. You're still 2 turns away from winning the game, though, which does not feel good. Because the response on the Lugia side could just be to punch your Radzard with Iron Hands and be like, okay, now you need to move your Radzard. And respect my Iron Hands. The Collapse is coming out, though. Get rid of the Rotom. So I feel like... Oh, no, they are going for the Boss play. As I was going to say... they attack with Charizard here. Which I guess is fine. You could attack with Charizard this turn. The Charizard gets punched. Then you run to Radzard, I guess. I just wanted to make that a little bit more clear on the prize cards. But now you need 2 more Gusts from Charizard. You have to like go Gust 2 Prizer, Gust 2 Prizer. Here comes a Great Ball. I assume if this finds Luminion, that would find Boss. I think I saw a second Luminion in the deck. And the Charizard player side, though, you have to like Gust every single turn. There's Luminion, second Luminion, and the Boss. And that's it. Iron Hands just draws 6 prize cards. On the Charizard side, played around the gift energy as long as you possibly could, but it wasn't enough. The Iron Hands just kept coming back and kept swinging. That's why like playing the Enhanced Hammer or a Temple of Sinnoh in this matchup is so important, because you can like neutralize the Iron Hands while you go chase another threat off the bench. But we saw in this game, on the Charizard side, they did chase the threats on the bench over and over again, but we never dealt with the Iron Hands. But that's why like Enhanced Hammer or Temple of Sinnoh are so powerful in this matchup, because you can do both in the same turn. You can neutralize the Iron Hands with the Enhanced Hammer, get rid of that Legacy, Gust KO the Archeops or the Rat or whatever makes the most sense to go play around the Iron Hands. Now, they could play a tech for the matchup on the Charizard side. They could have the Enhanced Hammer Sinnoh. It could have been prized. We didn't see him aggressively play for it in this set, so I definitely don't think it was in the deck. Because that's why you play the card. You would have played it sooner for sure. I feel like it could have come down if they actually played it. So I'm assuming they don't play the Enhanced Hammer. They don't play the Temple of Sinnoh. We'll see what they can do in game 2. They also did go first in... is that double Dusknoir? Wait, I'm not tripping, right? That was double Nor. 2-1-2? They really don't want to prize that thing. Interesting. I haven't seen double Dusknoir yet. Klops could ignore Legacy, but that would require a turn to come back to Zard. Yeah, then you risk the Chinchino just being set up. What's the A-Spec for Zard? We haven't seen it yet. We actually haven't seen the A-Spec come out, I don't think. Could have been prized. That might have been the reason. I think there was a possibility if it was Unfair Sim for Unfair Sim to have been played. So it makes you think it maybe is Prime Catcher. I feel like Prime could have been comboed with like an Iono at some point as well. Prime is showed in Mulligan. Oh, did we just see it in the Mulligan? Am I tripping? All right, Poffin and Nest Ball. We might see a more aggressive start here, though. Last game 1, Charizard did go first and did not attack turn 2. Possibly this game, pretty clean start here so far. We could see that attack turn 2 and get aggressive, really put the pressure on the Lugia player. And that's something you can do now with the Dusknoir, because now you can KO yourself and then start swinging as soon as possible. And like turn 2 KO this Lugia, put the pressure on. Even potentially like counter catch your rats and stuff like that turn 2 as well. Remove the only like potential threat off the board. All right, energy active in the gift and then read. Oh, there's a Weird Ear in there as well. And then has the option of read the wind. The Weird Ear is kind of cute. I was literally thinking about that the other day where it's like, what if you played rats and Weird Ear? So if they KO your rats, you can just Weird Ear all your energy into play or bring all your energy together. Or even if they KO your Archeops, same thing. You have a bunch of energy like split out here, there, here. You can never, but you can bring it all together to actually make use of it all in the end game. I like the idea of the Weird Ear for sure. All right, Ultra Ball, Double Chop's gone. Love to see it. And with the threat of that Dusclops, I feel like you gotta grab second Lugia V here. That's gotta be a priority, right? To get that down. Just in case. Just in case. We'll see what they opt for off this Ultra Ball, though. And then we have that read to win to work with as well. Get us some more cards. But yeah, on the Charizard side, you could possibly pop the Clops. 50 on the bench, Lugia V Star. Defiance Band, KO the active Lugia V. Kind of cooking from there. That sounds like a pretty good turn. Or you could like pop the Clops, counter catch a KO the Rat. Read the win on an energy though. You never like to see that going, but if it matters. Okay. Do we actually have a turn to attack here on the Charizard side of things? They're eyeing up an Ultra Ball, I think. They got to piece it together, though. Got Arven. They play double 4 Seal Stone, so we're hoping it's not prized. Maximizing for that consistency. There we go. Arven in. Appreciate 3 months there. Drizzle. Appreciate the 40 months there. Uroxable. You think Thorin would work well in Lugia to try and help with lone Lugia KO to get the Rat into play, since you can... I mean, it's like a potential inclusion. I've never tested it. It's something that could be worth testing, for sure. Looks like Heavy Ball and 4 Seal Stone are being searched out, so probably prized... I guess maybe Manaphy? If not, maybe just a Charmander. They just wanted a way to get another Charmander. Second Duskull. They're really valuing setting up the Dusknoir. Last game they benched Manaphy. This game they have not been as aggressive about being concerned with Manaphy, it feels like. So it feels like they're trying to make a read. They've seen the Weird Ear. They've seen the rest of the Lugia build. Maybe they're confident that there's no Ogre Pawn at this point. Like, they're, I don't think you play the Water Pawn. I'm not going to play around it anymore. Which does seem reasonable based on how the last game went. That you would kind of give up on the Water Pawn. Charizard's loaded though. And yeah, you got 4 Seal Stones, so you could go find Dusclops here and then get this knockout. Start the prize trade in your favor as Charizard, which almost never happens in this matchup. You never get to be the aggressor like this. Yeah, it's an order in hand as well. We don't even have to use the 4 Seal Stone. We could though. I wonder if you ever collapse away your Rotom here. You could 4 Seal Stone for collapse, play collapse, discard Rotom, use the Dusclops, open up some bench space, avoid getting the Lugia getting a 2 prize knockout. I wonder if that's worth it here. Are they even gonna... Oh, they're just gonna punch for 180. They're not even gonna get that aggressive. They're not even gonna use the Dusclops. They're gonna conserve it. Interesting. Put the 4 Seal Stone in play as well to play around. That is curious. We could have gone Dusclops. Put 5 on the bench, Lugia knockout, or put 5 on the active Lugia knockout. We would trigger the gift then at that point. So choosing to play it a little bit slower. saving the Dusknoir probably for an answer to the Chinchinos, which I guess makes sense. If there is a Water Ogerpon, where we could see some value come out of it, but then the Charizard player would just chase down your Archeops after you put all the energy on your Water Pawn. So even if the Water Pawn is in... even if the Lugia player does play Water Pawn, using it here is not even that good. Even if you had like Boss KO double Dusknoir or double Duskline. Because then you just respond with, okay, counter catch your KO Chops or Boss KO Chops. What if you blew up that Lugia next turn with Dusknoir? Yeah, I mean, that could be a play as well, right? It evolves to Lugia V-Star, and then you just go evolve, knock yourself out, knock them out. Hey, you could even go Dusknoir, Candy Dusknoir, knock out Lugia V-Star, knock out Chinchino. Even on 2 prize cards then. Gus KO Archeops, I guess. Have a, jeez, that's a 4 prize turn. You are giving your opponent 2 prize cards, but if their turn this turn is just punch your Charizard, I think you're okay with that. There you go. Pop Dusknoir, Candy Dusknoir, Pop Dusknoir, Double Dusknoir, KO Chinchino, KO Lugia. Ooh, but there's the Jet on the Rat. So we will see a 1-hit KO on this Charizard here. Well, we do have the Dusclops to become a Dusknoir to respond to this. You do need to set up another Charizard, of course, this turn as well, though. You get another Charizard established. There we go. Gift V-Guard. We need, what, 2 more energy? How much is it again? 70 times? You could go with a double turbo here and something. Yeah, there we go. Mist double turbo. Imagine how much more broken Mist would be if it also stopped damage counter placement from abilities. It would stop the Dusclops and stop the Dusknoir. Yeah, there's the KO. Got Quick Search. We got 4 Seal Stone to work with on the other side here. We got a lot of resources, a lot of ways to find things. Let's see if it's enough to pull off the play, though. I feel like the play has to be Dusknoir KO active and then Gus KO Archeops. That's the play you want here, right? And then also potentially, on top of that, Collapse Away Rotom would be nice as well. There's a Tails on the Mezagoza. I feel like that's got to be the play you want to find here. Kind of catch your Chops, Dusknoir. Yeah, pull it all together like that. I appreciate the 6 months there. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but I appreciate the 6 months. Doing math. I gotta do something at some point. Comes a Quick Search. Nope. Take it back. Wait. Nope. Maybe they can't. Maybe they can't quite pull it all together. Okay. Quick Search is coming in. We still have 4 Seal Stone. We're guaranteed any 2 cards. Well, now there might be something prized. They're still piecing it together. I would think that they would have some kind of play here. Maybe they're checking their prize cards, though, and they're trying to figure out what they could get off the Dusknoir prize cards. If there's something prized, you could get off Dusknoir. We'll see. Did I book my flight to Brazil yet? No. All right. They're going with an Arven here. Wait, Arven off of Quick Search? Is there a tool card that's... Well, it gives us a card to use with Ultra Ball, I guess. This generates +1 card to the hand, I guess. All right, there's Candy Zard. The ability coming into play. Only 1 energy. So I assume they have an energy in hand. We'll see. They gotta have an energy in hand. They do. Are they just punching the rat here? That's it. It's just a rat punch. Man, all right. So no huge play happening. I mean, they're in like a fine spot still. I mean, the thing they're scared of here for sure is Lugia boss KO Rotom. Has got to be the fear. Honestly, though, thinking about it, Iron Hands KO Dusclops would also be pretty annoying. Yeah, Iron Hands KO Dusclops would be pretty bad too, I feel like. $11 ads in a row is crazy. A simple way to solve that. You just got to join the Rat Pack. Ad free over here on the Rat Pack side of things. Also, you might have your Prime sub available and be able to do it for free right now. No more ads. It's that simple. All right, there's the Lugia push up here. Yeah, I feel like actually KOing the Dusclops here is pretty good. I could even see an argument for using Lugia to KO Dusclops here, maybe. Because they're down, what, 3 rare candy. So if they wanted to candy again, it would be their last rare candy. To, you know what? Take the Prime sub. Appreciate the 8 months there, Art. You're going to have to wait 5 minutes and say it again. The 11 ad guy probably didn't hear you. Very true. If you don't KO Clops, Zard could have a 4-prize turn. Yeah, it feels like going after the Clops is just correct here. I think I agree. The question is, how are we getting there? Ideally, Iron Hands, right? Iron Hands KO Clops seems like the best play. But all right, here comes the energy search out. I mean, it's still possible. Not sure what they fully have available to them. Iron up a double turbo. So I assume that means they're just attacking with the active here. The question is it just going to be to punch this Charizard, or are they going to boss KO Rotom? But is it correct to just KO the Clops anyways? Like, if you have boss here and you're attacking with Lugia, what do you KO? Do you KO the Rotom, or do you KO the Clops? I'm actually not sure. I lean towards the Rotom, because then you're just a boss KO away on the Duskull if they use the Dusknoir, right? I lean towards just getting as many prize cards as soon as possible, because the faster you draw your prize cards, the less viable of an option Dusknoir becomes. Because then you could even KO the Duskull with Archeops, and that's how you could win the game. We'll see what they got, though. Thinking. Are they going to use second Archeops? Are they not? They maybe want to use the second Archeops, but they don't want to put too many energy on their rat, because then it's just going to get neutralized by the Dusknoir, and then they don't have another attacker. You maybe want to put some energy on your rat to make it a threat. Yep, there's the boss on the Rotom. Like I said, I think this is correct. I think this is correct to go after the Rotom here. Not sure what they're flipping for. Did they not use Mezagoza yet? Maybe they didn't. Well, I mean, now at this point, it feels like setting up the second Archeops is just the way to go. We'll see. Here comes an Ultra Ball. So they could have found something like an Iron Hands, but if they don't have boss, it doesn't really matter. Oh, no, they did have boss, though. Well, maybe they didn't have the energy to get to the bench, though. Actually, I take it back. Now they search out the Iron Hands. Okay. Yeah, I guess like the only thing here that they were maybe missing was getting the Iron Hands into the active, is what they were missing here. They still have 1 Chops to use if they want. They haven't attached return out of hand either, but they might not have an energy in hand. I feel like they should progress something on the board a little bit, whether that be the other Lugia or the Chinchino. Because your win condition, if Dusknoir gets used, could just be just KO Duskull. There's been some long turns on both sides these last 2 turns. It seems like they're debating whether or not to put the Iron Hands in play. All right. They are bench locking themselves with this, but I don't think that's that big of a deal, to be honest. I don't think bench locking yourself here is that big of a deal. Like, there's no knockout taken next turn. That means the Charizard didn't even attack. Doesn't put yourself in a great spot as the Charizard player, I feel like. Have you been impressed with the Dust package? I thought it would in this game. I mean, this match, no. In general, in Charizard, I don't have enough intel. I don't have enough info. My testing has been minimal. All theory. I think it's not. I think it's overhyped, but not bad. I think Dusknoir Charizard is overhyped. It's just not as good as like it's hyped up to be, but it's definitely good. All right, there's the Dusknoir pop. Gets 2 prize cards. KO's the active, but that's a prize card for the other side on the Lugia side of things. Now they have to send something to the active here. Honestly, I have no idea what you send up here. You maybe send up the Iron Hand just because it has a gift to be triggered, which it looks like that's what they're going for here. Wait, can the Charizard player just win this turn? No, because if you pop a Dusknoir, you just lose. Never mind. I was like, wait, hold on. Okay, Ultra Ball. Is that a rare candy? What is that card at the back there? Would you guess Drago will now be the most played deck at Worlds at this point? Yeah, I think that's that or Charizard. I think Dusknoir or Charizard. Ultra Ball for Luminion for the Iono. They need to get around the active here, though. They can't afford to trigger this gift energy. They have to go Gust, KO. They have 3 prize cards left. You probably go after Archeops, depending on how many energy are left. When does Dusknoir come out in the US? Friday. All right, there's Iono. Only 1 card here for the Lugia side of things. And then, oh, we haven't even used Quick Search yet. So like I said, it's got to be, like I said, Counter Catch KO Archeops, I think makes the most sense. It is winnable on this next turn for Lugia. But they need to, like, have... Are we using V-Star as well? Or our... Yeah, the Force Field Zone as well. I wonder what we're grabbing here. I guess you could collapse away your Duskull if you have bench something else with more HP. Maybe you just vacuum away the Mezagoza, though, actually. Oh, you probably just get rid of Mezagoza just to remove it so they don't have access to Mezagoza. Yeah. Yeah, there's the Chops KO. 1 card hand. Has access to Archeops. Iron Hand's pushed. Aroma! Tails! No! The Luminion. I was like the Lugia. There's the boss on the Duskull. And then Archeops searches out the Legacy and the Double Turbo. KO Duskull for the last prize card. Could have KO'd Luminion as well. So we got top 4 now. We got Regidrago versus... I don't know what's being played on the right side here, but it might be another Regidrago. It looks like Regidrago Mirror. It looks like Regidrago Mirror. Did link? Sure. Yeah, going first in the mirror is also pretty good. So, probably favoring the right side here to start off with. We'll see, though. Both players playing the Radiant Charizard. I think we've seen that in every Drago list as well. I think we've seen Radiant Charizard in every single Drago list, I'm pretty sure. Maybe she's 28 months there, shiny. Thorough prize check in here to start off with. We'll see what they end up taking. If the hand's good, they probably go for the Drago or the Ogerpon. If the hand sucks, probably going to be the Billy. Billy kind of sucks to get here, though, because you open Pheasantipity. So it's sort of like 2 bench spaces gone. But Motivate convincing me to have Squawk back, too. I want to make the cut. Motivate's pretty good. I mean, it's not good in that many matchups. You use it in like the... Ooh, double E-switch going down as well. That's not great. Especially because, from what I've seen as well, none of these Regidrago players play Gudra. So, the ability just to... Ooh, and no Drago V down turn 1 either. Man, that's like as bad as it gets. It doesn't get much worse than that. On the other side here... The hand didn't look too ridiculously strong. Radiant Charizard found off the pawn draw. It does have an energy in hand. There's a Vessel. Also does have Prime Catcher. You could go Squawkabilly here and go for a Motivate angle, I guess. You could potentially go for a Motivate angle here. Is that the Hyper Roam on Drago? No, it's a Prime Catcher. Grass, double grass. Okay. The next, dang, is the next format just going to be Drago Fest? Maybe. So in the video at 8:05, the player on the right snagged a boss from the opponent. What do you mean snagged a boss from the opponent? All right. Ogre Pawn number 2. Benching the Razor. This is also something we've seen actually. Is the aggressive Radzard benching. Maybe just gonna retreat into it this turn to avoid a knockout on a 2-pricer, I guess. But like in this situation, doesn't seem like there's a 2-pricer that's gonna be able to aggressively get a knockout. Yeah, the aggressive Radzard benching is interesting. Seems like there's an Ultra Ball in hand. The hand does not look that good. But it looks like we could go for... It looks like we maybe have to go for Squawkabilly, which means we might go for a Motivate here. What matchup is scary enough that every Drago is playing Radzard? I think Mirror Match. I think Mirror Match is like maybe the main reason to play it. Just have a powerful 1-prizer. Bolt is a matchup where you want it. I think Lugia is also a matchup where you want it as well. But I would say both of those matchups aren't... I would say Bolt probably specifically is like not something people are overly checking for. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a Motivate angle here. I think they could have discarded one less... Oh, they have Super Rod. Okay. Never mind. All the energy are going back. Maybe you should have left one in the deck, though. Or one in the discard, though. Is there 2 in hand? There's an E-switch. Oh, they're not even going to plan to Motivate here? They just really want to avoid... Well, I guess they haven't attached return yet, right? So they can still go attach to Squawkabilly, retreat to Squawkabilly. But I guess they're kind of leaving the option open-ended a little bit more. I still see no Regidrago, but I do see an Ultra Ball. So we can see Ultra Ball away. Pawn and the fire. There's a research in hand as well. Okay, but we need this Drago. It looks like it is a Motivate angle still. So it has to be attach fire to Squawkabilly. I mean, you could just attach fire to Drago and pass, I guess. It's like one less energy in play, and you leave like a not as squishy of a 2-pricer in the active. Okay, that's what they end up going for. I guess that makes sense, right? You want to avoid giving up 2 prize cards as much as possible. KOing a Squawkabilly is a lot easier with an Ogre Pawn than KOing an Ogre Pawn, even if the Ogre Pawn has an energy. Maybe that would have been something to consider. Instead of E-switching off the active Ogre Pawn, you could have E-switched off... Instead of E-switching off the bench Ogre Pawn to the Radzard, you could E-switch off the active Ogre Pawn to the Radzard. And then made it... it's still pretty close to... It's not impossible. You could knock out the active here. The active could be KO'd here by an opposing Ogre Pawn. It would require a lot of energy. And then I think you'd be okay if that many resources are being committed on that. The Charizard playing last round accidentally picked up his opponent's boss at the end of the game. That's what I meant by snagged. Oh, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it wasn't done maliciously, I'm sure. And everyone... Oh, there's the research. So we're not getting a turn on attack off here. They could go for a Motivate. That's why we pile count? Exactly. Yeah, I hope they find it, though. I mean, yeah, sure. I agree. I mean, this tournament happened like 3 days ago. So it's either... This tournament happened like 3 days ago, so... The tournament's done. Ideally, they found they get their boss back. So this might be a Motivate angle on this side now. because I mean they didn't have a Regidrago V down on turn 1. But leaving the Squawk ability in the active is really bad, and we saw that be avoided on the other side for this reason of how vulnerable of an attacker or how vulnerable of a Pokemon it is. An E-switch in the hand. Yeah, I assume there's energy in the discard pile to work with at least. Yeah, okay. They split the energy on the Dragos on the bench. Seems fine. Billy's definitely just going to be the target here. Drago's out. There's the research. I'm not sure what the other card under the research was. Maybe Thornton. Looks kind of like Thornton. You're probably just going to KO the active with Regidrago. Can't think of a reason why you wouldn't. If you want to use your own Ogre Pond, you would need 4 energy on it. It doesn't seem worth it. There's a retreat. Comes as a superior to recover some energy. Pond plus attach. Unfortunately, I guess the other energy was a fire. Maybe you would have preferred triple grass here. Still needs an energy switch as well to be able to pull off the Regidrago attack. Or I guess double E-switch plus attach fire to Radzar would be fine as well, if we could pull that play together. I feel like even just punching the active Ogre Pawn is pretty strong instead of for a 4-price turn with Paul and Squawk. How much could we have punched it for? 120, 150. We would need another energy though. We would need 4 energy on it still. That's so much energy. I'm not tripping, right? They had one of theirs. 150. We need to hit for 180. Wait, no. I'm tripping. 150, 180. No, I'm not tripping. That's still so much energy. Also, I don't even know if it was possible based on how they drew. And if they did do that, they would have to like go down to maybe 1 Drago and play, which means if that just gets Gus KO, you just don't have the potential of your own Drago. Okay, we're going into the... Eek. Man. Legacy Star. You're really hoping to avoid having to Legacy Star here. What are going to be the grabs? Goes for the Prime Catcher and the Vessel. Doesn't go for the E-Switch. Okay. There goes Virizion. Oh, wait. Virizion. Was that the attacker? Was that... Do we have a Night Stretcher in hand maybe to get to Virizion? Because Virizion could KO the Squawk. Gets 2 grass out of the deck with the Vessel. Maybe you really want to attack with Regidrago here? I'm actually very curious about that. Because the Virizion, I didn't even think about the Virizion here. But it's going for the Drago attack. And I assume it's just going to attack with Dragapult. You don't really have a better attacker here, I guess. Honestly, I kind of like the Iron Leaves there, because if you Iron Leaves the Squawk, I guess you leave your active pretty vulnerable, though. Like, you're just going to get KO'd by basically anything. Oh, you could attack with the Iron Leaves here, I guess. Yeah, you could just go Iron Leaves. Oh, no, you can't copy Iron Leaves with Regidrago. What am I thinking? It's not a Dragon Pokemon. I can't fully tell everything that's in there. There's a lot of options, though. I assume we're just going to go Dragapult. Then we can get Return knocked out by Raging Bolt, or... What's the other one? Giratina V-Star. So it is Dragapult. And then I assume we want 1 on the... Oh, we go 3 and 3 though, so actually Radzar can KO them, right? Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, I assume we want 1 on the Ogre Pond to be able to Dragapult again, but that's probably not gonna happen. So this makes sense. 3 and 3, so now Radzar can return KO. Makes sense. A lot of resources are used here. Should be a pretty clean setup on the other side coming into this turn for the player on the right. Starting with an S-Ball. Probably going to grab another Ogre Pawn. Maybe Radzard. And they definitely want to get a KO here. Ideally knocking out the active. So we'd be looking for... If we can KO the active here, we need, what, Tina or... Yeah, Tina or Raging Bolt. We need one or the other. We don't want that thing to survive another turn. Is there a deck where Mew's Genome can actually be a threat? A deck with Mew, or a deck that you play Regidrago with Mew against? Where's the right player got at the bottom? Pheasantipity. They both have Pheasantipity at the bottom. All right, yeah. Ends up on the Ogre Pawn. Like I said, it should be pretty easy to set up a Regidrago. The question is, what options will we have available to us? Hustles away the Sinnoh. Gonna get some grass energy, I'm sure. Only searches out one grass, actually. Interesting. So it's probably going to be the attachment then. Although they do have an E-switch in hand. But they probably want to E-switch. They still want to E-switch off the Ogre Pawn here. Well, they are going to use it, though. I would think they would just attach to the Regidrago, evolve. I feel like that was better. Because now they're just like wasting an E-switch, it feels like. They could have saved this E-switch, though. Or they could have used it, but they could have one Regidrago with Grass, Grass, Fire, the other one with Grass, Grass, and then just have attached for turn instead of accelerating to the Ogre Pawn. There's the research. Doesn't go for the Iono. Could have. I don't know how big of the hand is on the other side, though. Found another vessel. Found the Tina. So the Tina has been found. Does need to try and get some more energy in play, though. Oh, we still have Pheasantipity as well. 3 more off Pheasantipity. Kind of disgusting. That's a lot of draw. We haven't attached for turn yet as well. So there's a little bit more energy to be put into play. There's a Super Rod in hand now as well. I don't know how many energy are in the discard pile. Might be a... oh, there's 2 grass, I think. There's a Stretcher in hand as well, I believe. There's the Ultra Ball. All right, Tina is set up. Find another Drago V-Star for your second Drago V. Then we're swinging this turn. So the question on the other side is, where do the rest of our prize cards come from? Let's say we can set up our Radiant Charizard here. Knock out a Regidrago. Okay. That's some prize cards. That's 2. So we need 2 more. We get a bunch of energy in play and go Iron Leaves. We could recover Iron Leaves plus Gust KO Mew. That's a play. But also establish another Regidrago as well, I guess. And that could be our last 2 prize cards. Or we could reuse Radiant Charizard. And if Radiant Charizard does get KO'd, I guess, then we have another turn to play the game and figure stuff out. I assume this turn, probably no matter what you want to attack with, I assume this turn we want to be attacking with Radiant Charizard if possible. Well, that's not true. Actually, if we can find a way to get another 2 prize cards without using Radiant Charizard, I guess that would maybe be a little bit better. All right, here we go. It's going to be the knockout with Tina. This is why Gudra's good, because if we attacked with Gudra last turn, Tina couldn't KO us. But if you do that, then you're not setting up the Radzard play either. All right, there we go. Have to loss on 2 energy. I assume 1 off the active's got to go, just in case we get KO'd. I almost would, maybe getting 2 off the active makes the most sense. I don't know. Okay, here comes Radzard. Need a Fire and an E-switch to be able to attack with it this turn. Immediately into the Dippity to get 3 more cards to work with. The hand is huge here at this point. Another Ogre Pawn down. Another card that probably you'd want to try and have bench here would be a Mew. More draw power under an Iono. But it might be prized. It might be in the discard pile, honestly, at this point as well. I'm not sure. This means there's not going to be another Regidrago established at any point here. You could try and go Radzard, or you could go try and go Radzard Ogre Pawn. You could get an Ogre Pawn big enough to KO like the Ogre Pawn on the bench that has like 30 damage. Oh, no, has no damage on it. Or to KO the Mew, I guess. I guess it's the same thing. Ogre Pawn with 1 energy versus a Mew is the same thing. Or you could KO the Regidrago, I guess, that has 3 energy. That would be a thing as well. That's a lot of energy recovered there. Yeah, the potential for a big Ogre Pawn is available. Took back an extra Fire there, though. I guess maybe you want to do that so you can reuse the Radzard. That might be the play we're going towards here. Has Pokestop in hand as well to dig a little bit deeper this turn, potentially. Yeah, Pokestop's coming out. And we're digging. Here we go. Found the E-switch. That seems like it was the card that we were missing, for sure. So there's a Fire. We can E-switch off our damage Ogre Pawn off the bench. Radzard's attacking. Gonna get the knockout here on the Regidrago. And then, yeah, the question is, where do our last 2 prize cards come from? But kind of knowing our Radzard has to get KO'd, we could theoretically win in 2 turns. We could set up 2 Ogre Pawns to attack with, or something like that. Yeah, we could go like Ogre Pawn, punch Regidrago, and then Ogre Pawn KO Regidrago even. We could like take our time. Because the Radzard, I think, has to be respected here, it feels like. Yeah, it feels like the Radzard has to be respected. Actually, we still have Legacy Star on the other side as well, though. Could we do some, like, cheesy... If we could find Iono... Could we ever go, like, Iono... Iono Prime Catcher Pheasant Dippity... 200 to Dippity, 60 on other stuff, and then, like, boss win? We could go for a play like that, right? Yeah. That could be a play here. But then if just retreat, Radzard wins the game. Which means, yeah, we just lose to Radzard retreating. But we definitely need to go for a no prize card turn here. Could you set up a Regidrago? No, that wouldn't work. Yeah, we definitely need to go for a no prize card. Or you could go Radzard, I guess. I guess you could go Radzard, KO, Dippity, Iono. Ooh, okay. That would work as well, right? Our Radzard is online now. Is there enough juice to double cure him? We don't need to double cure him, though. Just attack him with Dragon Ball twice. Well... Theoretically, you could have the juice for double cure him, but not enough Gus for the double Dragon Ball. But the attack with Dragon Ball twice is the same thing as double cure him. Because you just... Oh, you could leave the Radzard in the active, I guess. Huh. You could leave... No, but you could go KO... Oh, no, wait. Hold on. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking this. What if you just go KO, Radzard, 60, and spread damage? Oh, no, but you don't want to give them Pheasant Dippity draw, right? We're trying to avoid them being able to draw with Pheasant Dippity. All right, we're going to the Legacy Star. Yeah, in my mind, I'm just trying to avoid Pheasant Dippity at all costs. All right, so they need to take 2 cards off of that. The Radzard is there and attacking. Also, you don't want to give them another turn, I guess, as well. But you could go Dragapult, KO Radzard, spread damage into attack with Dragapult. Attack with Dragapult again. And if you attack with Dragapult again, you would go... Draw 4 prize cards in one turn, but only have 3 prize cards left, which I guess would be okay as well. But then you're once again you're giving them a turn of Pheasant Dippity, and we see them actually going after the Temple of Sinnoh here to try and avoid the Pokestop being a potential out under this Iono. There's the Prime Catcher on the Dippity. Okay, so they're going for that play though. They're going for this line, and then there's the Iono. But they need to, sheesh, because on the other side you could just pass with the Radzard in the active and leave Radzard trapped. That's like a fine play. Because the Prime Catcher's been used. The V-Star's been used. Yeah, I don't even know if the Radzard could move. We'll see. There's the knockout. So a boss does win the game here. Just go Radzard, boss KO. And you do want to leave Radzard in your active here as well. There's also only 1 card left in deck. So if you go pass, they go draw, attach, pass. And then you go pass, you win. Which could be the play. So KOing Radzard here always feels like it's... not good. I don't know. Yeah, KO and Radzard here feels not good. But I guess then you could lose to like Switch Boss. If you think your opponent plays a Switch. You know the Prime's gone. You know the Legacy is gone. So I feel like that you can just win this game by going leave Radzard active pass. But if you top deck Boss, you always have game. Oh, and there's a Boss top deck. Okay, cool. That also works. But I think if we had whiffed Boss there, I think if we had whiffed Boss there, we still would have won by just going pass. Like, send up Radzard, we whiffed, okay, pass. They go draw, okay, pass, and again. I appreciate the 6 ones there, Nelson. I really think double cure him was the play if possible. How does double cure him do anything different? Oh, you don't reset their Radzard for them? You appreciate the 5 months there, Hitch. I guess yeah, that's true, Slap. You go cure him. You don't reset their Radzard for them, right? So then on their turn, ooh, okay. True. Yeah, if possible, maybe. But do you ever play around? I guess one of the questions is, where was the other Prime Catcher? Had it already been used? I actually don't remember. I think it was already used, though, right? You knew Prime wasn't a possibility to do the reset. Huh. Would have been interesting. As long as you're not playing around Switch. And the double cure him not, and don't, you wouldn't Iono in that situation, I feel like then. You'd go double cure him, no Iono. Because KOing the Radzard also seems bad to like a Night Stretcher combo. Because you know they have a fire in hand. So it's like, okay, they have Night Stretcher boss, I lose. Okay, once again, going first on the side on the right. But a slow, it's nothing, I mean, you got the attachment. The only thing you need is the attachment, but the hand does not look super aggressive. I think it's just got an Iono in it. You have like attached grass, Iono next turn. So we could see a turn 1 motivate, turn 1 punch, Turn 1, leave Radzard in the active and pass. Isn't terrible either. The Ultra Ball coming out here. Discarding a Drago V and something. I don't know what the other card is. See the prize checking going down. There's also copying the V to do 130-30. Doesn't reset the Zard and leaves Zard at 30 HP and damages the bench. Yeah, wait, what was the damage on the bench look like? We need to be able to go, what? Dragapult. KO. No, we couldn't get 4 prize cards in a turn, though. We do need to draw... We need more damage than that. The 30-30... The 130-30 isn't enough damage on the turn, I don't think. Yeah, there was no damage except 20 on Ogre Pawn. Yeah, we need more damage that turn. You appreciate the tier 1 there. Ruthless. Home to the pack. We're all out of energy, but we got plenty of... Salt. There's the Raging Bolt into the discard pile. And it looks like a V and maybe a Dragapult. I can't actually tell what the other cards are. And Ultra Ball. So we have our Squawk set up. Goes to get another Ogre Pawn. It looks like a Motivate angle, but you don't have to Motivate here. We saw avoided the Motivate in the first game to leave the Ogre Pawn in the active to avoid the easier 2 prize KO. We'll see what happens this game. There's a Motivate or no Motivate. Try and just leave this Ogre Pawn in the active. Try and retreating to Radzard is always super awkward. So you don't really want to retreat to Radzard ever, unless you know you immediately have Prime. Has a Vessel in hand, so could retreat and Motivate. Or could just attach to the Regidrago and pass. We'll see what they think is best here. There's a Fire and a Grass in the discard pile already. They grabbed the Fire, so I think they're not motivating. Otherwise, I think they would have just grabbed double Grass. And then, well, I guess you could attach the Fire to the Squawk ability. So maybe not, actually. Maybe they could still Motivate here with the Fire and then Motivate the Fire to the Drago. We'll see what they opt for. Yeah, just gonna be the Fire pass. Leave the harder knockout in the active. Billy is a little soft. Attach. Okay, they got the V-Star. They got the attach. They're just short. Hey, this is pretty close. There's a Kenson Cologne. Of course, that's just to burn it. And then I assume we'll see the Iono, yeah. It's interesting to not see the Radzard bench. Yeah, that's so curious. Because for last game, on the left side, they benched Radzard, like, immediately. We see on the right side here, they had Radzard, could have benched it, and just, like, chose not to. Interesting. I'm not sure what's correct at all. Couldn't tell you. But it's interesting to see them approach it differently. Obviously, one way is correct. It could be a little bit situational as well. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But with how clean of a bench here we have on the side on the right here, I feel like you'd want to bench. If benching Radzard aggressively is correct, and your bench is this clean, no Billy, only 1 Ogre Pawn down so far, and might only need 1 Ogre Pawn the whole game. Like, it feels like this is the perfect time to put down the Radzard and have it as an aggressive option, but chose not to. Thinking about searching out the Mew here. They do opt for it. They still need to find an energy switch if they want to attack this turn, and an attacker. They don't have any attacking options in the discard pile yet for the Regidrago. They have Legacy Star, of course, and that might be what we see here. There's the Hawlucha picking up the bench Ogre Pawns. This doesn't matter as much. In fact, actually, the damage is probably better placed on Squawk, so Ogre Pawn can KO Squawk more aggressively later in the game, as opposed to the Ogre Pawns. One of the Ogre Pawn taking 1, I think, makes sense. All right, here comes the Legacy Star. We need to find an E-switch and an attacker. Nope. The switch, honestly, though, hold up. The switch, honestly, switching to Hawlucha is probably what you want to do here. You probably grab switch, and they go for the Iono for a draw support for next turn. Man, pretty pitiful Legacy Star there in general. That Radzard, though, could have been on the bench. We could have had Radzard on our bench just chilling. One less card we would have seen. Maybe we see the E-switch then. Who knows? Yeah, it didn't even have, even if they found the E-switch, there was no attacking option, I believe. Are they not going to run to Hawlucha here? There's no way leaving Mew in the active ever works. Okay, thank goodness. I was like, you can't do that. You definitely can't leave Mew in your active. That's like the worst thing you could leave in your... You'd probably rather retreat to like Drago V than leave Mew in the active. Mew is just too vulnerable. Yeah, saw a ton of cards there. No E-switch found, though. Saw a ton of cards. And now we're looking for a knockout on the Mew, probably. On the other side here with Dragapult. Dragapult knockout, spread some damage. You don't want to KO the Hawlucha, that's for sure. We want to avoid that. Nobody likes KOing Hawlucha. How many did they put on the bottom before Iono? They did Nest and reshuffle before V-Star. Oh, honestly, good question, Slap. I'm not sure. I think they drew 1 or 2 with restart though, right? Before they went into that. Maybe they didn't though, actually. Maybe they didn't. All right, still got some stuff to play out here. We've gone through what, 1 Ogre Pawn? Okay. Discarding the Pokestop, but here comes the Ultra Ball for the V-Star, I'm sure. There it is. Needs to find, I think has the attachment in hand, just needs the E-Switch, and then we'll be able to attack with the Regidrago, but does want to. There's a boss in the discard pile here. There's a boss in the discard pile, so you could boss KO that Mew. Honestly, boss KO the Drago V-Star is pretty tempting here as well. It would require an attack from the Raging Bolt, which would be a pretty costly attack, but they are so far away from setting up another attacker if you KO that. They are so far away from setting up another attacker. So I like the idea of it. I don't actually know how good it is. Okay, there's the E-Switch. Here's the 7. Let's see. Yeah, there's the boss take. I don't even know what else you take here. Maybe Vessel just to get more energy. Depends what we're boss KOing as well. Gonna go for the Pal Pad. Okay. So 2 E-Switch down at this point. There's the attachment for turn. So it's going to be a KO on the Mew here, certainly, I assume. Because the KO on the Drago V-Star would leave us with 1 energy in play. That does not seem worth it. Ooh, wait, they're going for it, though. Do they have more energy to accelerate into play here? I have to imagine this is going for the 1-hit KO. I mean, there's a lot of resources into this Regidrago V-Star right now. There's a potential for another one to be set up next turn, though. It's a pretty costly attack as well, because there's no Tina here. It's just it's the Raging Bolt. Unless you're not... Oh, no, you're always taking the KO here, though. This is a costly attack. I'm not sure about this. Sheesh. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm not sure I like that. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I feel like just going Gust KO the Mew is like still pretty reasonable. Just with a Dragapult attack, spread a little damage. On the other side, I feel like you could maybe comfortably get away with just attacking with Ogre Pawn now. Oh, they play the Goodra, actually. So I was saying the Hawlucha play doesn't really do that much because they probably don't play Goodra. This is the first Goodra we've actually seen. Retreat pass? Dude. All right, let's see if the E-Switch can be found here on the other side. Need the attachment for turn as well. And would like to find boss on the Mew, but we'll see what they can put together here. What can they put together? Just an Iono. Okay. He's looking for a lot here. Actually, honestly, you probably don't want to KO the Hawlucha, though. So you're not looking for anything here, to be honest. You'd rather just not attack than KO Hawlucha. So you're probably just chilling here. You have the E-Switch and the attach, so you could have attacked this turn, but you just shouldn't attack this turn. If it's between attacking and KOing Hawlucha or not attacking, you're probably just not attacking here, to be honest. Yep, there's the pass. Okay. Maybe a turn to finally pull off an attack on the other side. I think finally has a Dragapult in hand. It doesn't have the Tina, though. The Tina's the big attacker here. You want to KO the active this turn with Tina if possible. Has Vessel, has some E-Switches, has second Ogre Pawn. So things are starting to come together just a little bit. Yeah, the Pal Pad. It was a Pal Pad in the discard pile there. It was just like the weird artwork. All right, Tina's been found. I think, like I said, there's a Vessel in hand, so we should be able to get into the discard pile here. Did discard an Ogre Pawn with that Ultra Ball, which is interesting. Is there another one in the hand? I feel like getting second pawn established here is pretty good. Oh, there we go. The Tina attack is almost there. We're not there quite yet. Another Vessel. It is another Vessel. Oh, maybe the other discard was like between that and Stretcher. Saving the Stretcher does make sense in this scenario. And now they might recover it now. Okay. Second one coming out. I do want to try and get more energy in play. Vessel and an E-switch. So yeah, plenty of energy to work with here. They haven't attached return quite yet. I just want to grab the grass energy. Attach retreat, E-switch off Ogre Pawn to the Regidrago, and then you can also one-off Drago, one-off Pawn for the Tina attack to get the KO on the active here. There we go. All right, there's a restart to go with it as well. Ultra Ball, but there's no reason to play that right now, I don't think. Okay, a little bit back and forth now. Finally, we see the first attack here. Utilizing that Tina for the 280, getting the KO. Get the first 2 prize cards here as well. What kind of response can we even see here on the other side? I think, like, Gust KO Mew is, like, the only good play. Punch the Active is, like, a... Punch the Active with Ogre Pawn is, like, fine, because then it sets up for a Radzard plus Iono combo on the next turn, I guess. And I guess attacking with Radzard this turn would be pretty good if possible. Immediately searches out that Pheasantipity. With only 2 E-switch left. With 2 E-switch left, you could go, like, Radzard this turn. And, like, Gust KO off the bench. And I think that's what you'd want to do, ideally, to be honest. Punching the Active with Ogre Pawn's not great, because then they can just respond with, okay, cool, knockout, and then they're always winning the prize trade. They just knock out back-to-back 2 prizers. I like to see Leaves KO Mew. Oh, true, the Iron Leaves. The Iron Leaves. I forgot about the Iron Leaves, I'm not going to lie. I forgot about the Iron Leaves. So Leaves KO Mew here is definitely pretty good. Just need a Gust and the Leaves itself. Honestly, the Leaves is a really sick attacker in this deck. Yeah, the Leaves is honestly like a really sick attacker in this deck. Because everyone plays Mew. Everyone plays Mew. There's the Gust on the Mew. Do they have the Leaves? Are they going to do it? There it is! So we got the Leaves knockout here. Oh, not quite. Oh, and we just lost 2 boss and our Radzard. So how do we get our next 2 prize cards? We also need an energy here still as well. Uh-oh. There might not be an energy in the hand. Oh, no. Even they look confused, like, how do we get here? What's going on now? What happened? Yeah, that's a dead hand. I think it's just a pass. There's a Super Odd. And I guess that could have been the way to recover the Radzard. Well, even if we have Radzard on the following turn, we need to, like, Gust KO something. We need to get Radzard plus Gust. And we just research away 2 boss. And I assume with the Palpad, they probably only play 2 boss. The list is probably Palpad, 2 boss, 1 prime. I doubt there's any Gust left. Recovers the Radzard and the energy. Then it's just going to be a pass over. Not getting the Virizion. Excuse me. Iron Leaves KO. Not getting the Iron Leaves KO this turn, unfortunately. Yeah, dude, the Iron Leaves is just genius. It's just a genius inclusion. Honestly, that's something I feel like... I mean, I guess I don't know how many people know about the Iron Leaves. This is me figuring out about the Iron Leaves as watching this tournament, so... But the Iron Leaves is just sick. I think it's just, like... It's just insane. Hey man, what do you think about Italian top players going to American and Brazilian tournaments instead of going to Italian tournaments? I have no thoughts or opinions on that. If you want to state an opinion for me to have a thought around, you can, but I neutrally don't have any thoughts or opinions on that. Leaves makes a lot of sense. It's insane. The Leaves is insane. I think it's super... It's just a genius inclusion. This is a genius inclusion. It just solves so many problems and it makes so many opportunities. Like this play here, this lineup, that didn't happen. But the potential of Iron Leaves KO Mew or Squawkabilly in the mirror match is just so good. You can go from like a board state without being able to get a KO to a board state where you can easily get a KO with just Iron Leaves plus a Gust. And then also it is an effective pivot card as well. Can you elaborate why Leaves is so good outside of Charizard weakness? Charizard weakness is actually isn't relevant for this deck at all. It KOs Mew, it KOs Squawkabilly. It brings your energy. The big thing it does is Iron Leaves is like an effective... Its ability is a bunch of energy switches. You put a bunch of energy in play on your Ogre Pawns, and then you bring all of the energy together with Iron Leaves to then utilize that energy to take KOs on stuff like Squawkabilly and Mew. And then it's also a pivot card. If you have a Regidrago in the active that just use Kieran, you go down to 0 energy on your Regidrago. You can load up energy on your Ogrepons, or already have energy loaded up on your Ogrepons, and you can just bench Iron Leaves, move Iron Leaves to the active, take 1 energy off an Ogrepon, and now you can pivot into a different attacker for the turn, or attack with Iron Leaves. Azul, will that video be on YouTube? It just Twitch sub exclusive? What video? I have no idea what video you're talking about. The weakness of Charizard is kind of irrelevant for Iron Leaves, to be honest. Yeah, the Iron Leaves is super sick. That's honestly like, I mean, listen, I'm just figuring out about the Iron Leaves from this tournament. But if that's something like, if I knew about Iron Leaves and I thought it was that good, I would not have played it at this tournament at all. I would not have played it at this tournament at all. Because I think that's an insane inclusion that I think more people will have it in their decks at Worlds than did before. Okay, what did they do here? I wasn't really paying attention. They attacked, took a knockout, and they win next turn with an attack. Here comes the Pheasantipity for 3. So the play on the other side has to be Punch with Radzard. The play on the other side has to be Punch with Radzard. Or... oh, could they have board locked them, Jake? Could they have gone Punch, set up for a 4-prize turn? I'm too busy being a fan of Iron Leaves. Okay, a lot of stuff's been drawn. Radzard's in the hand. It had to be Radzard Punch active or Radzard Gust. Or Radzard Gust KO Pheasantipity. I think you'd rather... well, you would need back-to-back Gust to get around the Drago. So it is just going to be Punch active. Which means if the Drago player has Gust, they win. If the Drago player doesn't have Gust, they can just go KO active. And then next turn win the game, I believe. And there's Prime Catcher. Okay. All right. Going to game 3 with 1:30 left. We will finally see Yoshi on the left going first. But just by putting 50 on Squawk means game over? Oh, because they can use Kyurem to copy, right? Oh, true. They could have put 50 on Squawk. Kyurem good. The only thing to think about, I guess, would be like a potential... Thornton. But I think Thornton was gone and Palpad was gone at that point, so there's no possibility of Thornton. It's probably just a one of the Iron Leaves. Yeah, you'd never play more than one. It's only ever a one of. You never need more than one. All right. So we'll finally see. Yeah, we'll finally see Yoshi going first in this one. Palpad with 30 seconds left. So we're going to be going into this with just turns, right? It'll be turn 0, 1, 2, 3, I believe. Or is it just turns 1, 2, and 3 when it's already been decided? How does that work? But they have decided, the game has like been started to set up so that the game counts. No 0, so it's a no 0. Okay. First prize wins? No, it's first prize wins if you haven't declared who's going first yet. If you declare who is going first before time is called, then you are setting up for a game. If you don't declare who goes first before time is called, then you go to sudden death. First player's turn 1. Okay. And then first player's turn 1, and then because the first player going first is also turn 3, it'll also be who has less prize cards remaining after that turn is concluded. So theoretically, we can see a turn 1. The first knockout basically wins at this point. Wouldn't that just be the best way to play then? Wait, what would be the best way to play? Is this sped up or are they zooming? I sped it up to 1.25. Turn 1 leaves KO is possible? They don't know, but the player on the right doesn't play leaves. The player on the right could actually donk though. They could actually get like a turn 1 attack with Ogre Pawn into something. So theoretically it is possible. But yeah, the player on the right doesn't play leaves. Only the player on the left does. Never declare a starter and potentially play longer. Like I guess theoretically golden. Yeah. Why is there a timer at 4 minutes now? I have no idea. Maybe they reset the timer a bit here. Where did this tournament happen? It was in Japan. I thought you guys were absolutely hauling it until I saw how fast the timer was going. Yeah, I have it sped up just a little bit. What round is this? We're in top 4. Every clear start and potentially play longer. Well, it doesn't lead to you playing longer, Golden. It just means there's no turns. So basically, if you finish game 2, but you don't announce who's going first in game 3, and then time is called, from there, it becomes set up for game 3 if you're in cut, and then first person to draw a prize card wins the game. But if you decide who goes first before time is called, then time is called, you're setting up for a game at that point, which means you do the +3 turns, starting with whoever goes first is turn 1. And then after the 3 turns have concluded, who's ever ahead on prize cards wins the game. If you're tied on prize cards, next prize card wins. So no turn 0. Yeah, there's no turn 0 in that scenario. Because you're not in a game, so there's not a turn to conclude before the turns start. +3 is like you have 3 turns from the end of the active turn, but there's no active turn, so there's no turns to go with. They put the timer back up to 5 minutes, but it might just be like a default thing with their timer, where when it runs out, it just like push it back up. I don't know. New question, but why do we use this time bank format instead of a chess clock sort of thing? Because of all like the micro interactions that happen during player's turn that would require a clock switch is like probably one of the biggest reasons. It's probably also just something that's never been thought about or done. Do any other card games or have any other card games ever done chess clocks? I'm sure there's been some experimenting at a decently high level in like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh at some point. But it's also just kind of like the way card games are played and done. It's just no one's ever done it. It's also part of the reason for sure. There's the Kyurem start. Wait, it's a possibility for a knockout. For a donk. The donk is actually alive right now. The Kyurem start is like the worst thing you could possibly start with. Magic has never tried chess clocks. Well, maybe not like officially, but I'm sure like there's some high level Magic players who have gone out of their way to try it at some point. Oh wait, yeah, I guess in Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! It would be way worse because there's too many cards that interact during your opponent's turn. So it's not possible in Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably. Maybe Pokemon is actually the only card game where it would be potentially viable, but even then, there is back and forth as well. Not to the level of Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, but there are some. Iron Leaves for the win? Oh, that's true. We could use Iron Leaves to get into the active. So it's less likely for us to get donked here. We'll see, we'll see. Billy is being put into play. Wait, we're not done yet though. We got an Ultra Ball coming out. Is it ever to go for the Iron Leaves just to put that in the active? I don't know. Oh, wait a second. But we're in turns. We're in turns here. So even if the Kyurem gets donked, Yoshi will still get another turn to play the game. So the Kyurem getting KO'd here isn't the end of the game. In fact, it's like fine. It's actually not even that big of a deal, to be honest. Because there's always going to be a turn 3 here for Yoshi. Because we're in turns now, theoretically. I don't know when time was exactly called and when the players announced who's going first or who's going second. Based on the on-screen clock, Yoshi should be turn 1. And it shouldn't be a sudden death scenario right now. Yep, there's the pass. So even if the Kyurem gets KO'd here, I believe there's going to be... Yeah, even like we saw the judges switch it to turn 2. It still looks really bad. It's still looking really good for Yoshi here, which is the player on the left. I'm not saying the players purposely take longer to take a prize. They could just get unlucky with draw and such. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Hello, sorry for bothering you. Oh, jeez. I was about to say... gotta ban him. Oh, someone already got him. Appreciate it, Slap. They apologized in their opening of their statement, so I was about to say, well, because you apologized, I'm not going to answer your question, but it was a bot the whole time. I almost got bodied. That'd been the most embarrassing. All right, so what do we have? Iono into Billy there. Still just trying to aggressively set up here. Get as much into play as possible. Yikes. Is that hand just like literally all energy? I think it's 4 energy Vessel Drago. Yikes. Is there even energy to get out of the deck here? I don't even know if it's correct to Vessel this here. There's a grass. All right, there was 2 grass. There was 2 grass. They're cooking. They're cooking. Yeah, so now going into Yoshi's turn here, turn 3, all Yoshi has to do is draw a single prize card, and the match is over. I'm thinking about retreating to the Drago. I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Does it? I don't even know. Maybe. Sure. Go for it. So it's going to be, at this point, it becomes next prize card wins. And we're pretty close to having that. Got the legacy. Immediately goes into it. Maybe they have just game in the discard pile. Boss Ultra Ball. Dude, what? There's the art. The leaves goes up. Takes the energy. Grass. Boss. Okay, they got him. Once again, flexing the iron leaves, bro. All right, we got the finals now. So yeah, generally this matchup feels tough for Regidrago, but I'm curious to see how this plays out. Have some options in the hand. Vessel and Ultra Ball. I also see a Pokestop in there as well. Immediately goes into the Vessel. See Research and Ultra Ball as well. So maybe we don't see a squat. Maybe it's just Ultra Ball for the V. Put that down, attach to it. Squawk is a little bit awkward as well because it can get KO'd by Iron Hands, which can make a scenario where Radzard's not a potential threat in terms of the prize trade. So it's like something you could go aggressively for as a Lugia player, just to like basically you basically KO Squawkabilly for 3 prize cards and you remove Radzard as an option. Pokestop does find a Nest Ball, so that means you can save the Ultra Ball for next turn for the V-Star, or you could get the V and Squawkabilly here. But I don't think you need to be that aggressive here. We'll see. That's like another thing you'd want. You don't really want to give your opponent Pokestop. Pokestop is definitely something Lugia never wants to use, but if it's the choice between a dead hand or risking a Pokestop, you definitely risk the Pokestop. Yep, Fire Pass. Okay, that's what I think I like here. Don't need to get overly aggressive. You got to Research and the Ultra Ball for the next turn. Immediately into the Pokestop. On the other side, does find that Ultra Ball, so it seems like their hand probably was not very good. Who knows? Maybe it was like fine, and there's like, I think I can take this risk. They did lose their V-Guard energy, though. I don't know how many they play. I would assume it's just 1. And the reason, like I was saying, you play the V-Guard. Most Regidragos play Giratina V-Star. So the V-Guard on a Lugia V-Star stops the one-hit KO of the Giratina. Raging Ball can still get to the one-hit KO, but 5 energy is still a lot. Like that 5th energy being forced on the Regidrago side, unless it's like for the win, feels pretty tough. Has another Mezagoza to work with here as well, and the heads on the Mezagoza, so definitely getting a Lugia V down for sure at the very least. Could grab Luminine if they need to draw a supporter. Goes for that Chops. I guess it does have that Ultra Ball to... Oof, there we go. Love to see it. Where's Slap at? Dude, that is a funny sequence, isn't it? Pokestop, get Ultra Ball, Aroma, heads, Mezagoza, heads, Ultra Ball away, double Chops. Ooh, you'd love it. Such a sick combination of cards right there. Yo, appreciate the 12 months there, Steven the Red. This is one of the things about this. This is one of the things about Regidrago going up against other decks that play V-Stars. Ooh, did they search out Weird Ear? Oh, they have the Call for Family. Interesting. I assume we'll see double Lugia V here, and they have the threat of the Weird Ear in the hand. Okay. They could have also Ultra Balled for another Minccino, but then you could have had both Mincinos get KO'd. Oh no, we have the Mist on this Minccino. So we could have gone second Minccino, but it could be because they do play the Weird Ear, they probably play a thinner Minccino line, like a 2-2 Minccino or something. So second Minccino could be prized here. It's probably not a super thick Minccino line. For sure. But what I was saying is there's no great attacker that lines up in this matchup that any Regidrago is playing right now. Like Regidrago up against any deck that has V-Stars is like a little bit awkward because you just don't have a great attacker for the matchup. That is where something like the Haxorus can be pretty good. Just being able to hit for 230 and like KO a Lugia V this turn would be kind of good. But in this situation, honestly, KOing the Rat here is pretty good. The thing is though, yeah, I mean, you just don't have a super efficient attack here. You can go like, you could go with like a Dragapult attack though, probably. You go like knockout 3-3. You get the 3s down before the missed energies, and then the 3s can lead to a more efficient knockout with Raging Bolt in case they have another V-Guard, or the Radzard. So that's probably the route we're going to see develop here. Is going to be attack with Dragapult, knock out 3/3, set up for Radzard, or the potential of Raging Bolt to help Raging Bolt get around V-Guard energy. We see already considering that Raging Bolt here, but goes for the Radzard. Yeah, Yoshi puts this in place super aggressively. I mean, I like it. It kind of makes sense for these V-Star matchups, to be honest. You do the Dragapult play, then you have the Radzard option to be able to clean up on that next turn, and you use the Radzard as aggressively as possible to force your opponent to have as many gusts around the one prizer as possible. Radzard's pretty nice for these situations for sure. Azul coming around to the Radzard. I am a little bit, to be honest. The gameplay from Yoshi is definitely convincing me. So they choose not to Legacy Star here. And they could get KO'd. The Weirdeer's there. Like, we know the Weirdeer's in the hand. But if you can respond KO the Weirdeer, that removes a ton of energy from play. And then if you can chain Radzard after that, you might be in a fine spot, to be honest. So all we need to see is Lugia V-Star here. The Mezagoza is still in play for a potential flip to find that if they don't already have it in the hands. Then we said the Weirdeer is the big threat here for like a one-hit KO. Ogerpon destroys Weirdeer. Oh, true. You could just clap back with Ogerpon. But you don't really want to clap back with Ogerpon, right? Because then your Ogerpon just gets KO'd by Lugia. You want to force the Radzard on them as many times as possible. We definitely want to Radzard next turn. Even if we can KO the Weirdeer with Ogerpon, we don't want to do that. Because then our Ogerpon gets KO'd by Lugia. And then we're just like a boss Ogerpon away from losing the game. So we definitely want to go Radzard. And force him to have 2 gusts around. Or maybe we could even get like a Thornton involved to remove one of the Ogerpons from play into like a Halucha or something. Or the Kyurem. How much would you recommend a player to travel to tournaments going to their first season? It's super individual. How much ever you want to travel, for what works for you in terms of what makes sense, financially, time wise, burnout wise, all that stuff. Like if you want to put all those factors into consideration, and then how much you want to travel past that is just whatever you want to do. All right, there's quad double turbo into the jet. Honestly, love to see it. And yeah, we get our knockout here on the Regidrago V-Star. Goodbye. That's enough, right? Yeah. So now we go into gotta be Radzard, right? We want to get Radzard KO. We could respond with Ogerpon, but if we respond with Ogerpon, then all of a sudden, the Lugia claps back. Then there were just like one Lugia plus Gust KO Ogerpon from losing. Or Ursaluna could get involved as well. We don't want that to happen. Looked like a heads on the Mezagoza. I assume we're not going to be able to avoid 2 prizes in play at this point. So we probably want to reestablish... Ooh, double E-switch already. Oh, maybe there's a tails on the Mezagoza. We probably want to establish another Regidrago to have access to the Legacy Star moving forward. But you could possibly play for some kind of cheesy Thornton play where one of these Ogerpons becomes a... No, but it doesn't matter. If your Radzard gets KO'd, it would have to be like a Thornton play where one of the Ogerpons becomes like a Halucha or a Kyurem to have less 2 prizes in play. But that feels like you have to work super hard to get there. I feel like just benching a Drago V to have option for Legacy Star sooner than later makes sense. We'll see, though. Is there a gift on active? There is no gift on the Weirdeer right now. So that could, like, take away the possibility for a boss next turn. But we do know the Lugia player plays double Luminion. Definitely plays at least 2 boss. Yeah, they play double Luminion. They play at least 2 boss. Plenty of gifts. So, like, I mean, they could... Yeah, them having boss here would not be crazy. Also, this Mezagoza is just in play. So if the Mezagoza gets a heads, or maybe 2 heads, and then you get back-to-back Luminions, as long as you have enough energy in the deck, which I think they definitely do. They're down 4, 5, 6, 7. They should have at least 15, 16 energy. Yeah, they should have enough to make the Lugias cook here. Also, they could get a rat involved at some point as well. Oh, no, there's only 3 prize cards left on the other side. We can't get a... No, you could get a rat involved. You could go like Lugia rat to KO the Radzard if you whiff the Gust, actually. There's a research. They do lose. I can't tell what's behind research, but the Prime Catcher's gone. Also, one thing I will mention, every single Regidrago player, besides maybe Yoshi's opponent in round 4, plays Thornton in this tournament. We have not seen Thornton be played a single time, I don't think. Ooh, do I want to say that? Maybe once. We've maybe seen Thornton get used once. No, I'm pretty sure we've seen Thornton get used 0 times. Maybe there's like a matchup where it's like specifically really good though, but in the mirror matches and everything else we've seen so far, we have not seen it actually have effect. And I'm pretty sure Yoshi plays it as well. I'm pretty sure Yoshi plays it. I could be wrong on that though. It didn't seem like Yoshi's opponent played it though in the top 4 match. All right, there's a Tails on an Aroma. Is there a Thornton in a list here? I think Yoshi plays the Thornton, yeah. Like I said, like pretty much every Regidrago player we've seen has played Thornton. Daichi's list had Thornton, I'm pretty sure. But we have yet to see anyone actually use the Thornton to any effect. Yeah. Used Thornton in previous game? We maybe did. I might be talking out my ass on this one. I'm just trying to be a Thornton hater. That's all I'm trying to do. I definitely remember Yoshi using Thornton to turn an Ogerpon into a Radzar for good effect. I don't remember that happening. It maybe happened. So trying to lower the price of Thorntons. I don't think I've seen Thornton used. I don't think I've ever used a Thornton in testing. I think honestly, just another stretcher is probably better than Thornton. Yep, there we go. There's the boss KO going after the Regidrago. And this is what I said could happen here. And it sets up the rat as well for the potential of, okay, if I whiff boss KO here, I guess also the rat KOs Ogerpon with less energy though. The Chinchino KOs the Ogerpon with less energy. Yeah, looking really, really good here. And I would imagine, depending on the composition of the hand and the deck where the energy are, getting the rat here means there's probably another boss in the hand or like a Luminion for the boss. Yeah. Thornton into Legacy Star coming in. I mean, it doesn't sound that good, though. That's our supportive return used. Did he get Luminion to hand off Aroma? He maybe did. I thought the Aroma got the Chinchino, but I could be wrong. Oh, but we got heads on Mezagoza maybe as well, to be honest. All right. I mean, we have the Charizard knockout, and then next turn you'll have to find boss KO and potentially switch. You have to switch the Radzard out as well. There's the knockout. All right, gift for 1. You don't need very much here. You need a 3 energy rat or a 4 energy Lugia. Question is the energy in the deck? The answer is 1, 2, second chops, 3. Is there 1 in hand? Oh, dude, they grabbed 4 and I only saw 3. Okay, boss, knockout. Lugia gets the dub. Oh, I definitely question. I mean, Radzard seems pretty good. I talked about this last week. For this matchup, a really good tech does seem like Radiant Gardevoir. A good tech for the Lugia matchup specifically, as Regidrago, seems like Radiant Gardevoir. But you'd have to give up on Radzard, which I don't know if that's worth the trade-off. But hold on, wait. If everyone plays Giratina V-Star, in their Regidrago decks, then our Radiant Gardevoir would not only help us survive. Wait, maybe I'm cooking here. Blood Moon can just be used? True. Not in the early game, though. Not in the early game. You're not cooking. Stove is off. Blood Moon is 2 prizes. Well, that doesn't really matter. 5 energy Blood Moon isn't that hard. Maybe. All right, you might be right. It might not be that bad. Or it might not be that good. I'm still kind of cooking, though. Yeah, but if they use the Blood Moon early and then you KO it, they don't have another way. They don't have a follow-up attacker to use to KO another Ogerpon because they can't use Lugia. The problem is like right there, the ability to use back-to-back Lugias. But if you go Ursaluna, you can't go Ursaluna Lugia anymore. I might still be cooking, actually. I might actually still be cooking. They Chinchino you? I mean, it just gives us more. We need more options, right? I'm just saying we need more options for the matchup. Maybe we get a Temple of Sinnoh involved. Daichi was playing the Temple of Sinnoh as well. It's something we saw. All right. So we got Drago Energy, Ogerpon E-Switch, a classic start here for Regidrago, playing around the potential of the Iono. All right. We might get a game 3 with the classic Ursaluna pass. It's a good tech if Ursaluna wasn't a thing. I think even with Ursaluna being a thing, it's still... I don't know if it's better than Radzard, though, I guess. Maybe it's like equal to Radzard. No, but they just do what they do to Radzar, where they just gust around him. They just like, yeah. They're kind of cooking on Radzar, it feels like. All right, draw goes out, attach. The only attack option is Raging Bolt. That's terrible. That's honestly like, yeah, that's pretty bad. If that's all we have to work with here. But, I mean, we could Raging Bolt again next turn just to win the game, depending on what the cards in the hand are. Is it boss pass on? Okay, boss attach pass. The game could be over this turn. Not guaranteed, but it's possible. Load up the Ogre Pawn. Are we just going into Legacy Star here? Possibly. I see the Iron Leaves in the hand. You could just Iron Leaves punch. But then if they have a double turbo, they go double turbo, knock you out. That's not good. Like if they get research into double turbo. I think I like being more aggressive with the Legacy Star here. Just try and end the game this turn. Because you're just like a couple energies short, right? You're close. So you need like the research and the Ogre Pawn sound pretty good to me. What else would be worth grabbing? I don't know. I like research Ogre Pawn here, I think. Because you could just win this turn if we get what? We need what? 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5 energy. We do need a decent amount of energy, actually. We need a couple. Yeah, the moon has 290 right now. So we need 5, right? Yeah, we need 5. So we need triple pawn. There's a super rod getting used. We need to find one more pawn. We can get there, though. We can get there. It's doable. We're going to see a lot of cards this turn still. Okay, I think they got it. I'm making a call here that I think that's game. Doing the math. There's a retreat. We got Superior. Back grass, grass. Grass, grass, grass. Knockout. Okay. All right, that was a quick one. A little bit of a dead draw there on the Lugia side. And not the cleanest of setups on the Regidrago side. You weren't trying to use Raging Bolt on that first attack, of course, but still pretty good. You can't really complain for how the other side was drawing, right? Can't really complain in that scenario. It was good enough. Now we will see the Lugia player gets to go first, which we haven't seen yet, I believe. I think Regidrago's gone first both games so far. So we get that little bit of an edge for them. Spiritomb plus Temple is the only Lugia tech to make the matchup a little better. I mean, I think Radiant Carver would make it a little bit better. Also, I think Spiritomb is probably neutral in the Lugia matchup because it eating up a bench space is probably not a consistent thing you can do. You probably can't consistently bench Spiritomb into the Lugia matchup for the hope of a potential positive outcome. But Sinnoh I can definitely get behind. Yeah, I don't know. Do you ever have consistently have bench space for Spiritomb in the matchup? I guess I'd have to test it. I could see it maybe. Oof, Luminian Star's not great though. Wait, what? They already teal dance at the beginning? They had triple Ogre Pawn in play. I don't know if that was a heads or a tails. It was a tails, I think. But it doesn't matter. Ultra Ball away, double Archeops. Did anyone dare to play Lost Box in this tournament? We did not see a single Lost Box in Sana. Lost Box, honestly, with Drago being as popular as it is, or it seems like it's going to be, I think Lost Box is dead for a little while. But I think it'll make a comeback. I think before rotation hits, Lost Box will come back around for a tournament or two. But yeah, the Regidrago being as good and as popular as it seems to be makes it tough. Makes it tough on the Lost Box. Sablezard with like 2 choice belts. Honestly, maybe. You might have to go like a route like that. Okay, we're into the Mezagoza. Tails on the other side. And also, obviously, can't one-hit KO the Lugia turn 1 here. Has an Ultra Ball. Has some other stuff to work with as well. So, might be a Pokestop in the hand. You see the Vessel initially here. Would you ever want to attack? What is the plan this turn? Is attacking with Regidrago ever good here? 130 on the active. And then 30 on the Lugia. Sets up the Lugia to get KO'd by Radzard. And sets up the Luminian to get KO'd by Dragapult spread. But it could get a missed energy later. Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem terrible to do. But it doesn't seem that good. It's like a lot. You need double E-switch this turn and then double E-switch next turn for the Radiant Zard. It's like a lot. That's a lot of things. Squawk onto Radzard seems good. I don't know. It seems okay. Giving up your Squawk like that feels bad. It just doesn't feel good. I don't know. Does Drago have bad matchups? I can't really think of any. Lugia's tough. Raging Bolt's tough. Those are both like tough ones. Not impossible matchups, but they're tough. Okay, Raging Bolt's set up now after the Pokestop use. Second Drago just in case the active one goes down. Yeah, once again, Lugia can just get 4 non-double turbo energy and take the knockout on the active here. And now there's no 30 set up yet. No 30 damages are set up. No 30 damages are set up on the Lugia. Squawk Haunted Razard opens up the 3-price turn from Lugia with hands, right? Yeah, true, yeah. Yeah, we see Yoshi even playing around it, playing the E-Switch preemptively onto the bench. There's the Lugia. Oh my god, dude, this is... It's Lugia's world. Lugia's world. This is tough. I mean, they just need an energy, and they'll get the knockout on this first Regidrago. Yeah, but if there was a Radiant Gardevoir in play, I'm just saying, if there was... Just putting it out there. What you guys choose to do with that information that I put out there is up to you. I don't claim any responsibility for any Radiant Gardevoirs that might enter your Regidrago deck in upcoming tournaments. Alright, we lost a Chinchino there. No one's playing the water pawn, right? Lately, I want to say no. I don't really know where Lugia sits as a deck going into the next format, though, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really know where Lugia's gonna stand going to the next format, to be honest. Lots of Lugia lists play Fez. Yo, Fez is kind of sick though, actually. Oh, because the Fez can snipe too. Oh wait, that's broken. That's dope. Gift plus Fez equals draw 10. Yeah, that's dope. You have like more preemptive draw power in play to play around Iono and stuff. Jeez. Also, like it doesn't stop, but it like against Charizard, if they go Gust Your Chops, then you can Fez for 3. Ooh, dude, maybe Lugia's just broken, bro. What? That's so sick, actually, in Lugia. Yeah, if they go Gust Your Chops, you're like, all right, cool, Fez, draw 3. Damn, bro, I gotta invest in Lugia going to this next format. Maybe I want to cook up a list actually. Not feeling like cooking. I guess we'll do that on Thursday though. The set's already about to come out anyway. There's no reason to cook a list preemptively now. Is Guardy getting pushed out by Kyurem? A little bit. I'd say more so it's the Regidrago matchup in general, though, not just Kyurem. Although Kyurem's a part of that. I think Regidrago's favored against Guardy, but it's more favored with that. All right, here comes the Lugia knockout. And we have the V-Guard on the Lugia. We have V-Guard on the Lugia here. So there's no possibility. Oh, wait, hold on. I take it back. Hold up. Yoshi does play Raging Bolt, not Giratina. So this is the moment. This is Raging Bolt's moment to shine. Get down some pawns, want to KO the active. I think that's the play here, right? We just look for the one-hit KO and then put it together after that. No Chinchinos on the bench. No Lugia Vs. The only real threat is the Ursaluna. The Ursaluna could come back and like KO. I guess we could still also see like Iron Hands KO Squawkabilly. Okay, there's still some plays that could be made. But it'd be from attackers we could KO afterwards. So I think that's the play we want to look for here for sure. Or actually, hold up. Let me take that back. We could just KO Chops here. KOing Chops here is also okay, but it's kind of slow. KO Chops here is kind of slow, but it is a play that would be possible. One-hit KO active. I'm still kind of coming around to the one-hit KO active play here, though. I think I like that more than anything, but discarding 5 energy is so much. It's a lot. It is a lot. If we could have gotten there without actually using Legacy Star. But Yoshi's looking for some big plays here, going for the Pokestop out of the discard pile. Okay. Yeah, going for the Pokestop, recovering Pokestop Iono off the Legacy Star here. I assume we'll see Iono play before Pokestop, but maybe there's a reason not to. Oh, hang on, we're going into this first. This definitely feels like is building up towards a Raging Bolt play, for sure. Iono. Yeah, I feel like this is a Raging Bolt angle, but we need to find some more Ogre Pawns because we need more energy in play because we have to be able to attack on the next turn as well. We'll see. Ogre Pawns? Punching the active feels so bad. Prime Catcher KO Chops doesn't feel terrible, though. Jeez. Well. We're punching the active here, I think. I'll go to KO Chops, spread 40 on the other one to set up Kyurem on Rats potentially. The Rats will just never get benched. There's actually just no reason for the Rats to get benched at this point either. Yeah, the Rats just wouldn't ever get benched in that scenario. Yeah, it's just a Dragapult punch. I don't even know where the rest of the damage goes. 6 to the Luminian, so that does set up for a Kyurem play. I guess Kyurem could draw 4 prize cards next turn, to be honest. Wait, could it? 170. No, it can't because of the V-Guard energy, right? No, it can never. You can never get there. You do trap the Rats out of play with this play, probably, though, because you don't want to bench Rats and then just have them get board wiped with your Luminian. There's an Iono. So it is possible the Weird Deer KO could still happen, but maybe it is just going to be a Lugia punch active. That's what you need to kind of hope for here on the Regidrago side, is that your active just gets punched, and that's kind of all they put together on this turn. We'll see if the Weird Deer can be found, though. If Weird Deer can be found, then tough. There's that Squawk sitting on the bench and the Ogre Pawns, but yeah, the Squawk's like that much easier to KO. This is a question that I should have answered a long time ago, but how does Devo interact with situations of evolution Pokemon on bench with no pre-stages underneath them? There's two. So there's evolution Pokemon, and then there is evolved Pokemon. Archeops is an evolution Pokemon that was not evolved. TM Devo. Oh, we found the aroma. TM Devo de-evolves a Pokemon. There's a Tails, bro! Or slap. The Weird Deer is found. The knockout is on the way. KO is imminent. Another situation where we can like bring up other Regidrago potential attackers. Not saying we should include these, but I mean, so where like attacking with Goodra would have probably been a little bit better to prevent the Weird Deer potential, or to need that much more from the Weird Deer combo. But the Deer is here, and they do play 2 V-Guard, which probably makes sense. Honestly, double V-Guard probably makes sense moving forward. Regidrago's a pretty big deck. Do they have a Jet to go with this? They're doing the math real fast. Dude, if they have a Jet to go with this. Dude, the sequence was Iono into Jet, use Pokestop, hit Aroma. Ooh, okay. They get the Legacy involved here as well. I don't believe they've attached Return yet. Well, now they have with the Legacy, but I was thinking of the potential of a... Doing the math to make sure, but checks out to me. Knockout, and even when the Radzar return KOs this, you only get 1 prize card. You get one prize card, and you trigger the gift energy. And there's plenty of energy left in the deck for this Lugia to be able to clap back, KO at least the Squawk ability for sure. The Squawk ability is easy. There's at least 1 or 2 double turbos left. Yeah, so KO and Squawk ability is free. I guess maybe they're getting a little bit low on energy. Might not have the energy to work with for a potential Ogre Pawn KO, but Lugia is broken. Actually, though, it's just a broken deck. It's such a terrible deck. Like, so Lugia is not a terrible deck. I very much unenjoy playing Lugia. I do not enjoy playing Lugia at all. It is not fun. It is not fun to play at all. Oh, another thing that the Iron Leaves can do is it can reset your Radzard. Bro, the Iron Leaves is just broken. The Iron Leaves is broken. It's literally like the fix for so many little situations. I fall in love with the Iron Leaves more and more the more I see it get used from Yoshi here. Dude, we're definitely going to be cooking some Lugia. For sure, after the set drops with Dippity. A Dippity build. I mean, it's only 1 card, but... Alright, well, we got the fire for the Radzard, which is the important part. But we're only getting 1 prize card, and we trigger gift energy. How do we ever make a comeback? We definitely need to reestablish a Drago, because we need something with enough HP to survive a hit. So we have to bench Regidrago here. We just have to. We can't afford to not bench Regidrago here. No Regidrago? Well, then we got to get Thornton involved. Wait, actually, I think we have Thornton in hand right now. I think we can Thornton this turn. The first appearance of Thornton value is happening right now. In a game, we're going to lose anyways. We did it. I think we're going to lose anyways. I think we're losing anyways here. There's the knockout. 1 prize card, gift triggers. I'm not sure how many we're drawing. It looks like 2. That felt pretty confident to me. Here comes the chops. Show me the boss. 1 time. Show it to me. Ultra gift. And yeah, there's the boss on the Billy. And that's it. Lugia with the dub.